Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday. Hope your week's going well so far. We're ready for more conspiracy nonsense. We are playing bingo today, and of course, this tinfoil court is in session. The judge outfit won for costume day, as you can see. Thanks for picking that for me. Good news, I did wear a shirt under it this time, so I won't get incredible nipple chafing. Fun fact, if you wear a judge robe, I recommend you wear a shirt under it, because it'll chafe your nipples real bad if you don't. Alright, that tip out of the way. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see if there's anything I missed in chat. Just Jay's a proxy with a 5-stream streak says, I'm streaking! That's not TOS friendly. Hats off. If this is for the wig, I'm saying no. I'm not wearing that fucking wig. So if you're telling me to wear the wig, something comfortable in purple, okay, that's fine. You know what? I'll do the flower crown. I think it's been a while. I mean, it's warm today, chat. I'm not trying to be a bitch. It's warm today, and I already have a fan going, and the AC's already just doing its best. So I don't want to wear the wig, because holy shit, I'll sweat like crazy in a really gross way, and I don't want to do that. Alright. So, cool beans. Let me just check something real quick. And then I'll be good to go. Hope everyone's doing well so far. The judge wig looks more like a Brian May wig. It does. I really need to get a different judge wig for that, because I like the idea of the whole, like, judge wig. It's just, such a bad wig. Hydrate. Can do. I'm out of soda at the moment, so I don't even have a Coke Zero today. It's a shame. No caffeine for me. Alright, so I plan on going a little longer today. That's why we started early. So let's just jump into it, shall we? The first thing we're going to cover is pretty interesting. This is a topic. This is a organization that refers to itself as People Unlimited, an incredibly generic name. They used to go by, the Eternal Flame Foundation before they had to rebrand because their members kept dying, and that was embarrassing for them, because their thesis statement is effectively that you can live forever, just by willing it to be. Now, that was a little more blatant in their old Eternal Flame Foundation form. These days, or closer to these days, they have more of an alt health perspective where they try and shill supplements and stuff and give you bad alt health advice. But either way, we're going to take a look. It's interesting, and they've done some music videos for their conferences, so we're going to take a look at those.
People Unlimited
This is their intro video on their YouTube channel, because of course they have a YouTube channel.
is an organization that's dedicated to inspiration, education, and connection. Bernadine and I started this organization in 1995.
Oh, and if you could on YouTube, like the stream. I'm trying to do my calls to action more. The people I talk to, who are viewers, and also friends of mine, are like, you should do your calls to action more. That'll help. And I go, but then I feel like a bitch. And they're like, but this is your job, so it's fine. So I'm going to take their advice. Super chats and tips always help. On YouTube, on Twitch, bits, and subscriptions. I'd appreciate it. Alright, call to action ended.
We thought there was a
We're doing something
I don't know if inspiration's gonna help you break the laws of physics. Entropy's gonna get you in the end, my friend, or a bullet.
that's never been done.
James, I hope you can catch the VODs at least.
Be who we are and inspire
Yes, this is my judge costume.
each other. one another. We stir each other.
Oh, I'm pretty sure this is also, at least when they were younger, I think this used to be a weird sex cult. I don't have definitive evidence for this, but if you watch their old videos, the three founders all lived in a house together and allegedly shared the same bed. Nothing wrong with that. I'm cool with, like, polyamory and polycules and stuff. I think that's great. As long as people, you know, are all consenting, cool beans. The problem is it seems like they used to bring people into the organization with these promises of eternal life, and then the whole thing they were preaching was about, like, oh, you need cellular intercourse in order to keep yourself eternal. And I think they used that as a rhetorical slippery slope to get people to fuck them, which isn't cool. Don't lie to people to fuck them. That's not cool. Razor Girl Luna says, as an aside, I once had a friend wear a powdered wig and heels in a classical fencing match. It was glorious. Dahlia Vianney with 90 bit says, I'm always watching your streams on YouTube at work these days, but I'm off today because I got in a car accident. Oh no! Which I'm happy for because it gave me a day off. Yikes, we love capitalism. Have the rest of my bits till I get car stuff figured out. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your accident, but I guess I'm glad that you're looking on the bright side. So, glad you're here for a stream.
To think differently, to feel differently.
And people speak from their hearts. And
isn't weird sex cult redundant? Yeah.
That has a huge
It doesn't hurt to reiterate, though.
impact. It's getting clear.
Lives.
That's funny, Orion. Okay, that video's not that interesting, but I needed to show you that so I can introduce you to the music videos they've done, which are fucking hilarious. So that was required reading. This you're gonna enjoy. Oh yeah, here we go. Green Guy with a $5 tip says, Hannah, it seems if you want to live forever, you start going downhill fast. If you want to die, you live till 100. Yeah. I go back and forth between being incredibly depressed and wanting to die and wanting to live for 1,000 years. So it's kind of a crapshoot for me. Maybe I'll die at 65. Wanted, Suzanne Summers. Wanted, Ray Kurzweil. Ray Kurzweil is a futurist who's done a lot of writing on futurism and the science of longevity, so they're obsessed with him.
Doesn't matter how old we might be now. Pretty soon we'll all know exactly how to slow down the damage that is bringing us down and speed up the process that'll keep us around.
The cop hats have Luddite PD on them. Luddites. I'm sure you're familiar with the Luddites, the contemporary definition, as well as the origin, probably, so you get it.
Gene therapy is now coming out strong. Nanobots in our blood, it won't be long. Replacing our organs just like parts on cars. Living past the century will soon be ours. Radical life extension. Radical life extension. Eternal health is our intention.
Yeah, put the stem cells in the nanobots. Mix them. Razor Girl Luna, thanks for 50 bits, says, alternative, if you want to be immortal, apparently you gotta act like the most evil fucker on the planet. Good strategy. Senekagami with 31 months says, 31 months? Can you believe it?
It's a symptom of us
I can.
being alive doesn't mean we can't alter the way that we thrive. But if there's no cure and you're about to die, cryostasis
Oh, this is one of the better videos they've done, too.
a chance to give you more time. Even if you're doubting it, still give it a try. I guarantee there's no
Futurists aren't tinfoil people, right? The whole field isn't, but there are certainly tinfoil people within it, or that prey on that audience. Futurism is creative writing based on current science, so it has a tendency to be very wrong and optimistic, but that doesn't mean it's never right. Ray Kurzweil, for instance, has been right about a lot of things. I tend to joke about it, though. Oh, the judge collar, I forgot about it. It's right here. I'll put it on, thank you. For instance, I've made jokes before about Michio Kaku being my arch nemesis, which he is. Kaku! But he's a futurist I would watch a lot on the Science Channel as a kid. And he's a good, like, communicator, but just sometimes he says quite fanciful things that aren't necessarily true. Upton Sinclair predicted the credit card, yeah. Lots of things have been predicted through sci-fi, or speculation, and then come to fruition, either by correctly looking at the direction technology was heading, or people being inspired by the stories. Look at Star Trek and the communicators and how they evolved into people working on developing cell phones. So, to be clear, that's not to say futurism is complete bullshit, it's just, you know, it's speculative. It's okay to speculate and have fun. The problem is when people say, no, this is definitely what's happening, and you should give me money because I know where things are going. That's a scam.
chance being buried or fried. In the future, nanobots will get deep inside, repairing everything until you're back alive. Radical life extension. Radical life extension.
Yeah, Uhura's earpiece, yeah.
With radical life extension, living on and on and on and on and on, living on and on and on and on, living on and on. Radical.
The next invention based on sci-fi. It's the Torment Nexus meme. Sci-fi author. In my book, I invented the Torment Nexus as a cautionary tale. Tech company. At long last, we've created the Torment Nexus from classic sci-fi novel Don't Create the Torment Nexus. No Crash? And Web3? Anyone? Or Metaverse, rather? Amber says, look, I'm not saying that life extension research as a concept is bad. Finding ways to cure diseases and extend our life is good, but, like, you're never gonna be immortal. 100 years? Sure. 200? Maybe. Forever? Never gonna happen. You will die. You have to accept that. Live your life. Yeah. And that's the thing with this organization, is it preys on people's fear of death and creates a secular alternative to sort of the cope that people have around, like, eternal life after death through religion or other things. This is just a secular version of that, basically. It's really sad. I've not seen Vanilla Sky, no. Oh, this group of people really hate the FDA, by the way. I should mention that. They consider the FDA to be an impediment to medical advancement. So they're really mad at the FDA for existing. Edinger was here, Darwin was here, Copernicus was here, Galileo was here, Socrates was here, Dr. Radlex was here. So you can see how full of themselves they are. They're putting themselves, like, in the same echelon as people like Copernicus or Darwin or Socrates, like foundational thinkers of either, like, early Western philosophy and thought, or people who are originators of, like, scientific concepts early in science as we know it today, they're a little full of themselves.
Eternal health is our intention. With radical life extension, telemeric extension, detoxification, caloric restriction, tissue rejuvenation, stem cell therapy, biotic preservation, 3D organ printing, nanobot reparation, uploading our minds to our cyborg evolution. All of these are a part in our coalition for radical life extension.
They're full of something. Is it shit? I feel like it's shit. Alright, next music video, because they have a few. Oh no, this one's iffy. This one is called Bhavishya, which they say is Hindi for future.
The year was 1045 AD, and the lecherous King Olden Days was not happy about getting old and being ignored by his harem of girls, so he summoned his wizard for a solution.
Do they know how a harem works? Because ignoring the person who, like, owns the harem wasn't an option? I feel like they're confused about what a harem is. Toreador says, nope, they're full of zydrate.
Life extension, death prevention, this is all the rage. Everybody wanting it, cause no one wants to age. The future's right around the corner, so just keep on hanging in. Price point keeps on dropping so that everyone gets in.
Oh yeah, he's just like a gross... Like, they say he's lecherous at the beginning, but he's also like a main character, so I don't understand why they made him a gross creep. Like, it just feels like this guy wanted to be a gross creep on camera. It's speculative. I'm not making any statements about the guy, just pointing it out. Oh, also he's like a European king, but his harem is like a racist, like, stereotype of, like, Bollywood Indian women. I say Bollywood because of the dance number that comes up in a little bit, but, you know.
I'm moving to the future, I'm heading for robotics. I'm gonna be a cyborg, so no need for narcotics. I'm gonna make my own fate, gonna buy myself more time. Gonna change my very substrate, cause I never wanna die.
I wanna live forever, I wanna be young, and I want all of them to like me. When you mention life extension, you'll be met with apprehension, cause the history we're entrenched in puts it past their comprehension. Yet no matter their rejection, when there's chance for intervention, there's no doubt and there's no question, it's their strongest of intention to achieve long life extension.
The future's exponential, bhavishya gati hai. It happens everywhere, har jagah hota hai. It is life extension.
This is so bad.
Kabhi nahi marenge, means we are here to stay.
Still better than Macklemore. I like Thrift Shop. I don't know if that's bad, but I like Thrift Shop. The year 2045. Why did we bring the lecherous horn dog king to the future? I feel like this is not the best use of your genie powers. Freeline says the problem with living forever is space and resources. Either you would need to infinitely expand, stop people from reproducing, or kill people to make room. And there have been a few speculative sci-fi novels, including the kill people option as part of the speculative fiction. Amber says, life extension always makes me think of that one billionaire who has doctors inject him with his son's blood and claims he's reduced his age by years. He injects blood, eats only at certain times, doesn't drink alcohol or eat any food that hasn't been approved by his quack doctors. In all his interviews, he seems miserable because he's so scared of dying and aging that he refuses to live. The only part that worked is the estrogen he takes, making his skin healthier. Yeah, estrogen will do that. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. It's people who are so afraid of death, which I understand. I don't want to die either, you know, but it's gonna happen at some point, and you need to learn how to make peace with that in whatever way you do, you know? Obsessing over it and constantly trying to fight against an inevitability is just gonna waste the short amount of time of life you have. So just try and enjoy your life the best you can. Ifazoa says, "From the moment I understood the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me. I craved the strength and certainty of steel." Toreador says, "Everyone dies, not everyone really lives." Is that from something? A fortune cookie, maybe? His harem is now, they're scientists now? A harem of scientists. That's a specific fantasy, I guess. Yeah, look at her DNA. There's absolutely no information here. It's just a graphic that has no distinguishing information about the genome. But it's a double helix shape, so you know that from Jurassic Park.
Moving to the future, I'm heading for robotics. I'm gonna be a cyborg, so no need for narcotics. I'm gonna make my own fate, gonna buy myself more time. Gonna change my very substrate, cause I never wanna die.
Brevity of 70 is not what's called longevity. 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, then more. That's the kind of life extension we're all fighting for.
Imagine if you had to politically ally or fight with people who were born in the year 1500. Think how exhausting it is arguing with boomers about shit like gay rights. And then imagine that, like, times 8. Arguing with someone from the 1500s about their weird, backwards political beliefs. That sounds like a nightmare. That sounds awful.
Fighting.
I've heard once that society advances one funeral at a time, and that's a little bleak and cynical, but there's at least an element of truth to it.
Off attrition, using calorie restriction, warding off any.
Do I think any of the actresses hired for this had any idea what the music video was for? I'm sure they were told. I'm sure he told them. These people are quite evangelical about their beliefs. They're happy to share them with anyone around, so he probably pitched it to them if they weren't already in the group.
Affliction, cause survival's our addiction.
The future's exponential. It happens everywhere. It is life extension.
And the fun part would be people in the 1500s arguing with flat earthers. Oh, their innards are electronic. Why would you make that transparent? Like it's a special edition Nintendo 64. I don't want to see your robo guts. Ooh, the blue Gatorade's the youth serum. Mmm. Drank too much and he's gonna turn into a baby or something. That's a guess. Toreador says the 90s transparent aesthetic came back right as life extended cybernetics became mainstream. Good to know. Alright, I think there's one more music video and then we can move on, but I find them very interesting. They also have plenty of talks that we could get into, but, you know. Where did it go? There it is, I found it. I accidentally exited it. Good news for any Ingmar Bergman fans. There's a decent amount of, there's a Seventh Seal reference in here, so that's pretty cool.
I asked my grandmother, where did grandfather go? And she replied, he went to heaven, child. That's where we all will go when we get old. We all must die.
But things are different now. Science has changed it all. And getting old is age-old fallacy.
Ominous pipe flute, the best kind of pipe flute. Also pan flute. I used to have one of those. I annoyed my parents. And then I think it I don't know, remember what happened to it.
There's a new lease on life. So if tragedy strikes and things are at the worst they'll ever be, we can try one thing more.
Dead.
When death is right at the door, we can preserve
My favorite member of the Wild Stallions.
ourselves bionically. Don't know if it works for sure yet, but it's a much smarter.
Okay, so the reference here, again, do that many people know the Seventh Seal? I don't know how, outside of film circles, how many people give a shit about the Seventh Seal. So the Seventh Seal is a very famous Ingmar Bergman film in which a crusader comes back from the Crusades and there is a illness spreading, like the Black Death. And he ends up in a chess game with death, and they speak philosophy and other things, but stuff happens in the movie. But, you know, the main, like, imagery that's famous from the movie is this or the knight playing chess with the Grim Reaper. So if you've ever seen imagery of a Grim Reaper depicted as someone with white skin and the hood playing chess with someone, it's referencing the Seventh Seal, including Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. That version of death is a direct reference also to Ingmar Bergman's film, which is why in that movie they play a bunch of games with him. It's a pastiche on the chess game. There you go, some film history for you. Altered Undying says it was in The Last Action Hero. Yes, the Grim Reaper from Seventh Seal escapes the movie screen in Last Action Hero and just escapes and starts killing people. Also played by Magneto in that, I think. Whatever his name is. You guys know. Toreador says, they Melvined me.
Giving yourself a plan B.
So I say,
Ian McKellen, thank you.
Heaven can wait for another day. It's not my fate to go away. Heaven can wait for another.
I'm sorry, is the pan flute music turning in... What's the genre of this song? Oh, it's true, James. I'd be really, really good at bar trivia, for sure. Anything entertainment, I'm golden. My blind spot's sports. I know no sports trivia, but in terms of, like, television and movies and some music trivia, if it's ever been in a movie, pretty good at that. Acid folk. I can't tell if that's a joke or not. Unironically, I could put together a really good trivia team. I would be for general media stuff. We would need a member that's sports and a member that's history. And I think we'd cover most of the bases together with that. So if anyone wants to get together a trivia team, that's a joke. Don't contact me. Razor Girl Luna says, for a cult about eternal life, this music sure is trying to kill me with whiplash.
I saw the news today. So many thousands.
Name 3 movies where someone melts to good. Is that supposed to be goo? Terminator 2? Do you count the brother in Weird Science turning into the pile of goo man? Society, although that's a controlled melt.
Scientists are baffled as they continue to search for a cure. Sources say
They buried all the dead. While I thought in my head these tragedies don't have to be.
Oh, Street Trash! I actually have that. Where did I put that? I had it around here recently. I probably already took it downstairs, goddammit. I've never seen Devil's Reign. Oh yeah, Time Cop, when when the bad guy touches himself. Touches the other version. Makes contact with another version of himself from a different time period.
Things are different now. Science has changed it all. And being buried is a travesty.
Raiders,
now
yeah.
we don't have to go. We'll just be put on hold and realize this new reality. We'll freeze them and then we'll store them until we find a cure for them. Then they can return to the future.
Yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit counts. I'd count The Dip.
Now I'm thinking we'll live forever. Chances are much, much better. Approaching immortality.
one more time.
Heaven can wait for another day. Stop a thing to go away. Heaven can wait for another day. Stop a thing to go away. Heaven can wait. Heaven can wait. Heaven can wait. Go away. Heaven can wait. Go away. Heaven can wait. Heaven can wait.
Oh, Death is mad. So angry. Thematically, this is the opposite of the thesis of the Seventh Seal. Get it? Instead of death being inevitable, they're saying it's not. Get it? No dance macabre for that, Grandma. These are very good Seventh Seal jokes, by the way. Toreador says, at its core, acid house music is characterized by its repetitive beats, hypnotic bass lines, and the distinctive sound of the TB-303. Folk music and traditional country music sound a lot alike, but both have a repetition of simple melodies. Both have lyrics that tell stories, both use repetition as a catchy chorus or even a memorable phrase to engage their audience and tempt them to sing along. Oh, well, does the rest of it sound like this? Because it's bad. I'm being a bitch. I'm sorry. Okay, we're done with the music videos, but I do want to show a little bit of some of the speeches that they give, because they do talks at these conferences. Believe it or not, they are not simply doing music videos. Let's look at some of the videos they've put out from some of their shows, and, you know. He with Goblins, thanks for 42 months, says, what is the answer to life, the universe, and everything? An ongoing sub to Hannah. Good reference.
People Unlimited is an organization that's dedicated to inspiration, education, and connection. Bernadine and I started this organization in 1995. We felt
It's actually not true. Again, they had a previous name, but they changed the name to hide their past because they've been doing this for so long. A bunch of their original followers died, which, you know, if your whole sales pitch is, we'll help you not die, your original followers dying looks bad, so they changed their name.
there was a huge need
There actually used to be a third member of this, like, leadership team, and he died. He was also the one that used to do the talks, and he was much better at it.
people to be able to connect with one another in unlimited lifespans. Inspiration is vital for people who are interested in living unlimited lifespans.
Is it vital, or is that just all you can provide? Because I don't think it's vital. I think that's just what you have to sell. So you're saying it's vital. That way they'll pay you to listen to you talk and give them inspiration. Razor Girl Luna says, why can't these guys just drink mercury like normal immortality-seeking crackpots?
Enough inspiration in this world today.
We're doing something that's never been done before. We're drawing people together.
Her name is Bernadine, not Grenadine, although that would be a funny name. Also, that's like no, never mind. It's a clever joke overthought.
Future.
I was trying to think of a joke and I couldn't get there, but you got there with the cocaine. Good job.
People don't die. And that is the
I kept going Shirley Temple, and I was trying to find it and I couldn't. I should have gone Roy Rogers. Good job.
direction that human
Aging and death isn't a conflict. It's a natural result of being a biological being. Toreador says the T-1000 went on to sell other scam products like life rings, immortality serum, and brain pills. All of these turned out to be just various mercury-contaminated byproducts of the manufacture of the liquid metal technology used by the T-1000. MH Dark Beast with 50 months says, hey Hannah, happy to be a 50-month member of the community. Got a few short clips, one for Casfell if they're in chat. First, how the barbarians solved a riddle, and then there's a second one. Thank you for links. I don't think Casfell's in chat right now. I appreciate the link.
I don't hate goblins. I just think they're lower beings. I don't think they're important at all.
Yeah, that means you hate us all. You look down on us.
Of course I have to look down at you. You're short as shit. If anyone has more questions.
Funny. Nemesaur, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs. I appreciate it. You're always so nice and generous to the community and myself with the subs. Thank you muchly.
Everybody on this planet to do the same.
Getting closer to our monthly goal of 500 subs.
Our hearts are open for everyone to live better lives.
Oh shit, we're on a hype train. 26% to level 4 on the hype train. Gift subs and bits. Kill this train, because I don't know if I can stream tomorrow. So make this train your bitch. Alright. Let's find another quick video from them, and then we'll probably move on. Dillis Filler, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs, getting us over level 4. Thank you much.
Don't die. Why?
Oh, helpful. Just say don't die. Good. That'll do it. Turn this up a little bit. Tea with Goblins with 145 bits says Choo Choo. Thank you.
Die. Don't die. Don't die. Why die? Don't die. You had to wake up. Okay, so I don't know if everybody in this room is going to live or not. I have no idea. You're going to have to know that yourself. You're going to have an experiencing or a feeling of your own person that you've got a real sure answer within you. You've got a real definite feeling about your person, that you're somebody. You are somebody special. You are somebody to be reckoned with. You are not just the ordinary person walking down the street that's only got death to face. You're facing you should be facing an excitement of being physically immortal, of being the lineage. You should feel an excitement like you've never felt before.
Oh, she's doing great. Unstable Deadbeat, thanks for 5 tier 1 subs. Getting us over level 5. Incredibly generous with the subs today, everyone. Thank you. Razor Girl Luna says this lady looks like if Edna Mode was a Muppet.
And
try not to make fun of people's looks. I read that before I read it. You know, I read it out loud as I was reading it. I try not to make fun of people's looks.
Yeah, we should have this excitement in our bodies. And so, and it's so wonderful because
it is genuinely sad that you can tell that she probably has a severe anxiety surrounding death, and this is her way of coping with it. Now, my sympathy for that breaks down when you find out she's selling people shit, but still, at some level, there's got to be that real anxiety for her, and that sucks.
When you do get really low, I got really low. I got really low off and on. It wasn't all the time, but I really went low. And it was great for me to be who I am, that even in the midst of that, I didn't sink into death. I didn't give way to death in my body. I'm not doing it now. I don't care what I have to face. I'm not doing it. It's not who I am. I already went through that. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm not, sometimes dying is a wonderful thing when you don't have a life. But for me, I have this anointed inspiration, and it's all the time, even when I'm down. I have this anointed inspiration that I keep moving, and I have created for myself people around me. I did it. I did that. I needed it. I needed people that could speak to me, that could touch me, that I could commune with. I needed that, and I created it. You can have everything you desire, but you have to create it. You can't wait for somebody else to do it for you. You have to do it. You have to be the person that's free of death and everything that can take your life away, that can take your inspiration. Nothing can take my inspiration. Nothing.
Word salad on the bingo card? This is just rambling. It doesn't really mean anything. She's just saying, you need to be inspired, as if inspiration has anything to do with whether or not you die. Yeah, that's nonsense. 14% to level 6 on the hype train.
Yeah. Even when I sometimes haven't felt so good, Joe has come to me and he just spoke to me something. And boom.
Oh, shit! That's incredibly generous. Holy shit. Undead 283, thanks for gifting 20 tier 1 subs. This hype train you're all making this hype train your bitch. This is incredible. Thank you.
Totally turn me around.
Word salad.
So I have
yummy, yummy. 36% to level 8. Oh shit, remember, if we get to level 10, we add a costume day. We're already on a costume month, but if you want to add another day, get to level 10. Hydrate, I can do that.
An assurance. I have an assurance that I'm going to be lifted up if I need to be.
Tea Time Tea, thanks for 2 tier 1 subs.
I have an assurance. I have.
Only 50 subs away from this month's goal. Woo!
Created for my life that I have people. It's good to be intimate. Get close to somebody that gives you something to go on. Be close.
Hold on. Depleted telomerase, thanks for following. That name is actually interesting. That name has to do with longevity. You know these people? Oh, no.
Don't be afraid.
Or is it telomeres? That's probably telomeres.
To speak out who you are. Be honest. Let it out. It's okay.
These people are doing great, huh? Unstable Deadbeat with 100 bits says, no one should overlook that someone called Undead just gifted 20 subs during the Immortality People segment. It was meant to be. Overthought, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Woohoo, this hype train's nuts. 97% to level 8. This is the highest hype train we've had in a long time, so thank you, everyone. Seriously, I couldn't do this without you guys. You're fucking awesome. Another video from this conference. This is not going to be the whole stream, by the way. I've just really enjoyed these people today. I've been watching some of these, and they're interesting.
Thing about dying healthy. I want to know, maybe some of these doctors, our doctors can answer that today. How do you die healthy? What does that mean? Something's got to be going on wrong if you die. So,
Paradona, thanks for gifting a sub. Unstable Deadbeat with 100 bits says, over level 8! And indeed it happens. Bella Lagotzi gifts 10 tier 1 subs.
So I think real health is about unlimited living, getting healthier, more vibrant all the time. And that's unlimited means you get better all the time. There's not this equation that's included that has mortality in it.
Poor people. It's a motivational speech to not die, and it's just not gonna work out. 82% to level 9 on the hype train. Whew.
Let's take the mortality out of living. Wow.
I think we're 33 away from the
mortality
sub goal
out
for
of
the
living.
month.
Why not? What do we have to lose?
Freemason number.
What do we have to lose? Only death itself. Only death itself. Let's be daring. Let's be brave. Let's be bold.
You have nothing to lose but the chains of death.
And I think we can have it all if we'll go for it. We've never dared to go for it from this magnitude.
Will we be over 9,000?
I feel
You're lucky that's from one of the animes I like.
that we need to let go of our control. The control of our own bodies or of anybody else. We've got to let go of the control. There is a happening of the flesh to take place here that cannot happen with control. We have to let go. We have to let go. Oh, wow. I can see it. I can feel it today because I've had issues and I want to...
Do I like any anime from this century? One Punch Man. Starlight did nothing wrong, says, my car is in the shop and I'm stressed as heck, so your streams are helping me not stress quite so much. Thanks. Oh, I'm glad that they help. And there's one that Jaden recommended me that I've been watching that's like an anime, and there's like it involves like Renaissance or medieval like trading. Jaden didn't have to tell me the title, I forgot it.
Control it. And
It's got like a wolf demigod.
You know, this to happen and that to happen, and honestly, nothing's going to happen for me outside that I open myself to
Bison Wolf, thank you, yes.
happen. There's a movement
Don't spoil it, I'm not that far into it.
of the physical body that has never been expressed by any of us yet. There is. Yeah. It's unto our living. It's unto our living, and we're not going to be so concerned and so worried about everything that happens. I'm not going to be so concerned because I have been about everything that happens to me mentally, physically, spiritually, every way. There is an opening up for us to take on that we're
Do I think the wolf god is hot? I think the wolf god is goals.
ready for the unknown of us to come forth.
The original or the remake? I think it's the more recent one. I think it's the remake.
There is an unknown. Wow. We don't have to know everything. There is something in wanting to know everything about your physical form that stops the flow. There is a flow of the physical body to happen. Nobody can determine it. Nobody can determine this. I can't determine this. I have to open myself. There's an opening to know me and to know you in a way we've never experienced. It's not a knowing. It really, it's not. It is a feeling.
Polo's a treasure for multiple reasons. Yeah, she's a good character. 85% to level 9 with a minute left in the hype train.
There is a speaking of the body that we need to start hearing. That's right. It may seem impossible, but it's not. There is a hearing of the body that speaks really loud and clear. We're not going to get it from anywhere, but right from within your own soul.
Wow, she's struggling just to do the speeches. Sheesh, this is from a year ago. I wonder how she's doing now. Razor Girl Luna says, do you think The Highlander is a horror movie to these folks, or do they just misinterpret the theme of it? There can only be one!
It's unheard of, and I don't care. I don't care. We're ready for the unheard of. I'm ready here for the unheard of. I woke up to physical immortality 60-some years ago.
She has aged quite visibly in those 60 years, just for the record. Thank you for that insane hype train, everyone. You've all been so generous, and I appreciate it. I will always do my best to put on entertaining shows for you. I really appreciate it. You are the reason I'm here. So thank you. Christian Jones with a $5 super chat says, you might enjoy an anime called Steins Gate. It's a time travel anime about a mad scientist who send texts back in time. John Teeter is a plot point. Oh, I do love time travel, so for those that don't, god damn it, I'll take the hit for this. Hannah mentions Blu-rays on the bingo card. This entire top shelf here, this is my this is my sci-fi shelf. All this top shelf is my time travel movies. All of these. Did you even know there were that many time travel movies? I don't even have all of them. My collection will forever grow, like a tumor. But like a good one.
It's not for me today. There is a new opening to take place in our bodies, hearing from the flesh what we've never heard before.
All right, I think we've had enough of the immortality people today. I will probably look at them again in the future, but I don't want to make the whole stream about them. So we will move on, at least for now. Let's see what we're going to do next. Oh, this is brief. Let's see what CeCe's been up to. We're seeing him here in his kitchen.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be.
Loud.
Yeah, CeCe here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. 728.
So far, the only anime I have is Ultimate Muscle, Pokemon, Akira, which is a movie, not a show. I think that's it. I think that's the totality of what I have.
8/24. See, Hollywood really has never had any brilliant ideas at all when it comes down to aliens. They always use creatures from the deep sea or something else like that, but
I mean, they often use that for inspiration because it's very alien to us and looks different than what we expect, but it's still a form of life. Otherwise, you're trying to create things out of whole cloth, which is interesting, and you can certainly do it, but people tend to get inspiration from things they already know. Even something like H.R. Giger, like the Xenomorph, well, very original and very interesting, and it kind of has that aesthetic of the machinery of the ships and stuff. It has almost an industrial look. It also has kind of like an exoskeleton, almost like some sort of insect, you know? There's real-life inspiration in a lot of fictional things. Toreador says, Bernadine Brown, as far as anyone involved in the People's Unlimited religious movement, is still alive, but she's 87 years old, as far as I can tell from a cursory Googling. I wonder how the movement's gonna feel when she dies.
oh, we should take a look at this onion. It's a red onion that I've been growing. and I'll show you the garden later on during the week. But remember the War of the Worlds?
Wait, she is dead? Oh, bummer.
Tell me that does not look like that.
You think that the tripods from War of the Worlds were based on red onions? No, they weren't.
At all. Here it is. War of the Worlds. Coming
I
at
don't know
you.
what H.G. Wells' original inspiration for the tripods were, but even if they were based on red onions, I guess I don't understand what the point he's trying to make is. Like, the War of the Worlds aliens and the tripods are fiction, and they never claim to be anything other than that, and fiction is inspired by all sorts of interesting things. So I don't understand what he's even trying to say here. I don't understand what's his thesis statement, you know? Fennikagami says, I recommend a show called Violent Evergarden. It's a beautiful anime visually about a girl, Violet, who's a child soldier who has to find a living after the war. She becomes a ghostwriter for people to help them write letters so she can overcome her emotional stuntedness to understand her beloved Major's words. I love you. The episodes are vignettes of the emotional journey she goes on with her clients. This is why I shouldn't have mentioned I've been watching an anime. I knew this was going to happen. Everyone's going to start recommending me animes. This is going to end up in another fucking anime rant. I can't. This always happens. Ah!
Especially the most recent one. You know, I mean, this is their imagination. This is Hollywood. They have none. That's why you'll always see a globe in the background for no reason at all. But that's your War of the Worlds creature. Spaceship. An onion.
It's not a spaceship. In the original story, the tripods aren't spaceships. They've been buried under the Earth's surface for a long period of time, and then they emerge. They've been in some sort of suspended animation, I believe.
Thank you for subbing. I think if you my videos, let me be a part of your life.
That was different, even by Chris's standards. Very strange. I don't know what he was trying to even get at there. That's probably not good. How about Daniel Pratt? We'll go from one angry older gentleman to another. Oops, wrong button. Toreador says, okay, but hear me out on this anime. We've been reading the manga, and it's great. When we heard it was going to be an anime, we laughed our butts off. Oh, god damn it. I can't play trailers and stuff for things. They've gotten way stricter on, like, demonetizing for that, so I'm sorry, I can't play that. Although, it does look funny.
Alright, morning, folks. Looks like I should be off restriction again. Man, when I was a kid, I was no angel, let me tell you. I think I said before, I think I spent more time on restriction as a child than off restriction. I just never knew I would grow up to have my mommy and daddy YouTube put me on restriction constantly for voicing my opinions.
If you want to go voice really shitty opinions that people hate and consider hate speech, go on Rumble or BitChute. They love that shit.
Oh man, and that's kind of what today's video is geared towards, in a way, I guess. Today I want to talk about the ultimate hypocrisy and absurdity of what the Christian right of America and the world choose to be offended by.
Oh, Green Guy with a $5 tip says, I think CeCe has broken. Yeah, I think he's been broken for a bit, unfortunately.
If you bring a drag queen out to promote Bud Light, oh god.
Dylan Mulvaney isn't a drag queen, she's trans. For the last time, I'm begging bigots, understand what you're purporting to hate. Drag queens and trans people are not the same thing.
We gotta have a big anti-Bud Light campaign. And rightfully so, fine. Rightfully so, no pun intended. Or if the Olympics mocks the Last Supper, there's an uproar. Okay, fine. I've done videos before about, what about NASA? Why does the left-right treat the Nazi-founded corporation of...
NASA wasn't founded by Nazis. Nazis were recruited, which is gross. I don't disagree.
NASA like they are God himself and untouchable.
But all of those people are dead. Fun fact.
Never mind that there are thousands, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of videos on YouTube exposing the lies and fakery of NASA to the point it's undeniable to anyone with an objective point of view. I guess that brings me to why these right-leaning, political-based Christians cannot discern, recognize, acknowledge the obvious truth that NASA is a complete and utter fraud that does nothing but base their delusion in patriotism. Meanwhile, I forget which Kelly brother it is, it's hard to keep track of these Dr. Evil twins and their leftist agendas they push. I think it's Mark Kelly, or maybe it's Scott, don't know. But one of them is the front runner for Kamala Harris's VP now. Because he's such an honest person. And he would never lie to you about space and the agendas NASA pushes.
I think we should let people know that the flat earthers are not on Kamala's. I think this helps with the whole "the right is weird" campaign. Look, they got all the flat earthers. This guy seems very stable, right? Cool.
Or the fact that NASA is one of the biggest LBGTQWXYZ pushers on Earth.
Gay agenda on the bingo card. Also, what a weird statement. He thinks NASA is one of the biggest proponents of LGBT rights? What are you talking about? What? What are you talking about? What?
And yet, you ask any red-blooded American patriot Christian, oh, they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. So, sorry, it's hard to take you people seriously with the hypocrisy in which you choose to be offended by anti-right propaganda. Because NASA is full of it. They constantly mock Christ. Just look at the names of their missions. Apollo. Apollo.
Yes, scientists name things after, like, Greek and Roman stuff all the time, because they're nerds. The planets are named after Roman gods, too. Again, because scientists are fucking nerds. In a positive way.
Apollo. Apollyon. Is there some...
Toreador says, I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by gender. Space!
Something about that that's kind of antichrist in the Bible? You people just crack me up. Doth your hypocrisy know no bounds, mainstream right-wing Christians? Sorry. Just had to get that off my chest. Because for decades, NASA has been pushing antichrist propaganda and agendas at you, making a mockery of God's creation, and you blithering idiots can't support and root them on enough in your hypocritical points of view. So, just had to get that off my chest, sorry.
No one tell them where days of the week got their names.
So now I'm back to organizing. On the one man's trash is another man's treasure point, I picked up some lockers. One of the government buildings I patrol was throwing away these perfectly good lockers. So I was like, well, I could use them for storage somehow in my garage.
Cool.
And I'm still slowly but surely trying to get together. I can't afford storage anymore. Thanks to the great American economy that, once again, the Christians all seem to want to blame on Joe Biden, even though it was Donald Trump that passed the $7 trillion COVID package, you know, when he was locking down small businesses and churches across the country. But oh no, it was all Joe Biden.
Well, that's good. At least he's nonpartisan, weirdo. Take that as a bonus. Tea with Goblin says, scientists love naming things after mythology, but people are often much dumber. About a year ago, Australia put a rover on the moon, and there was a public poll to decide the rover's name. One candidate was, Hakira, an indigenous word meaning moon, but what did my beloved compatriots choose to name this historic moon mission? Rover. Rover! I think that's cute. 'Cause Australia, get it? Kangaroos. Okay, let's see what we're doing next. Oh, hey, you know what movie I love? I love Labyrinth. And apparently Labyrinth is mind control, so let's take a look at this video.
Oh, dear TV. Oh, dear TV.
Released in 1986, Labyrinth was a collaborative effort between George Lucas, Jim Henson, and David Bowie. It was Jim Henson's last movie. Using state-of-the-art effects, the movie quickly became a classic in what we call the twist.
Tea with Goblin says, you remind me of the Babe. The Babe with the power? Do you people do you send me bits messages with lyrics to songs knowing that my ADHD will make me sing part of it? Is this intentional? Toreador says, I mean, that bulge was pretty hypnotic. True. True.
Twisted fantasy genre. The plot of the movie is simple. A teenage girl named Sarah goes through a strange magical labyrinth to recover her brother, who was kidnapped by a sorcerer named Jareth and his army of goblins. Some critics did not appreciate
that's some deviant art ass fan art right there. Alright.
The random nature of the events in the movie. Robert Ebert stated that these kinds of movies aren't suspenseful as they should be because they don't have to follow any logic. Anything can happen. Nothing needs to happen. Nothing is as it seems, and the rules keep changing. By describing the movie...
That's part of the fun of it. That's part of the fun of that kind of like Alice in Wonderland type adventure, is that you don't know what's going to happen next. Like, there are plenty of movies with a pretty straightforward plot. There are fantastical things like this for a reason. Fun.
Movie this way, Ebert unknowingly describes the inner world of a mind control slave, which is exactly what the labyrinth represents.
Or maybe he just had a bad opinion about a movie.
Through trauma,
like he made Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm sorry. I like Ebert for the most part. I find his writings and discussions on film interesting, although I don't always agree with him.
The psyche of the slave is reprogrammed by the handler, resulting in a situation where anything can happen, nothing needs to happen, nothing is as it seems, and the rules keep changing. Sarah's quest for her baby brother is in fact a quest to recover her...
There was a sequel, American manga, for Labyrinth I remember liking, but it had been years and I never finished it. Why is it called that?
Her innocent core persona, her real self that was taken by the handler.
Oh, like that's not the title, it's a genre. Sorry, it took me a sec.
The various events that happen to Sarah are distorted reflections of real mind control trauma, hidden behind a veil of fantasy and imagination. The plot of the movie is very reminiscent of The Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland, two stories that are incidental.
I mean, broadly in the sense that involves a young woman or girl getting sent to a magical land with some level of, like, fantasy nonsense going on. Only in the sense of broad genre. That's the only real thing, and I'm sure you could connect them thematically. There are elements of, like, coming of age in these films, of course, but to say that they're, like, the same movie or that they're that similar is really not true. Toreador says, the other day in our coop, we were moving chickens and our rooster got all roostery and tried to defend his hens. He ended up jumping on my head and attacking my hat and then promptly sat down. I was like, oh, it's so stimulating being your hat. Nobody got the reference.
Known to be used in mind control programming. A young girl, bored and distraught with her normal life, finds herself in a fantasy land.
There's a Labyrinth role-playing game, by the way. I played it once. It was okay.
Where everything can happen. In order to go back home, she embarks on a dangerous quest to reach the Great Castle, not unlike the Emerald City of the Wizard of Oz. Along the way, the assertive girl uses her wits, courage, and strength to go past the obstacles in a world where no rules are established. Labyrinth is heavily symbolic from beginning to end, starting from the very first scene. Sarah is at a park dressed as a princess, practicing lines to a play under the watchful eye of an owl that is standing on top of an obelisk. We quickly learn that the owl is Jareth, the Goblin King, played by...
I'm gonna take the collar off on this. It's actually a little tight and it's choking me. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I like, but right now it's just making me really warm. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this collar off. Oh, that's better.
By David Bowie. The fact that Jareth takes the form of an owl in the real world and sits on top of an obelisk is very telling about what he actually represents. The occult elite. The owl is known to be the main symbol of the Bavarian Illuminati and is still used by elite groups such as the Bohemian
Illuminati on the bingo card. Toreador says defrocked.
Grove. It represents those who act under the cloak of darkness. The obelisk has been, for centuries, the ultimate symbol of the power of the occult elite.
Spurious symbology is evidence on the bingo card.
It is found standing at the world's most powerful places, and strange occult powers are attributed to them. These tall monuments originate from the ancient Egypt and are said to represent the lost phallus of Osiris.
I don't think that's what the Washington Monument represents, but okay.
In other words, male energy. The obelisk is therefore a phallic symbol, and the fact that the young
phallic symbol. Name that movie.
Girl encounters many of them during her quest might be a reminder of the male handler dominating her mentally and sexually. At Sarah's house, we find several clues relating to her predisposition to mind control. She is surrounded by toys, books, and posters that foretell the dissociative adventure she is about to embark in.
It's foreshadowing! The MC Escher picture foreshadows sort of the climax that takes place in sort of an MC Escher-esque space, sort of akin to Nightmare on Elm Street 5, which does something similar. But no, it's not about mind control, it's just foreshadowing.
Many of Sarah's toys will be found animated during her adventure, which tells us that everything that will happen will be a result of her own imagination, fueled by the things that are familiar to her. Among Sarah's stuff, we find a toy version of the obelisk-studded labyrinth she is about to enter, and the books of Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland. Both of these fairy tales are used to encourage victims to dissociate from reality.
No, they're not! They're just stories with themes and lessons and interesting plots. They're not evil. Popular media is evil on the bingo card.
Labyrinth is no different. And just let me add that I love this movie, and I always have, so this is just me talking about the symbolism. Don't,
If you think it's an evil mind control movie, why would you like it?
Personally. Anyway, right above Sarah's bed is Escher's famous drawing named Relativity. This mind-boggling image contains confusing features that the mind can never compute. For this reason, they are in actual mind control programming.
What?
This particular painting will become very important.
It's just an illusion. MC Escher was famous for his, like, illusions and kind of, like, space-bending art. That's his whole thing. It's not mind control just because it confuses you.
Later in the movie.
How the Illuminati create an undetectable mind control slave. That sounds like a legitimate publication.
Stepmother, because So Sarah is angry at her parents, especially her stepmother, because she has to stay at home and babysit her little brother named Toby while they go out. Confronted with the child's incessant cries, Sarah wishes for the Goblin King to take him away. An owl then enters the room and turns itself into Jareth, the Goblin King. After finding out that the Goblin King is really here to take Toby, Sarah asks Jareth to hand back Toby. The Goblin King uses his skills
his name is Kunta Kinte.
And persuasion. He shows Sarah a crystal ball and tells her that it contains all of her dreams. He, however, warns her that it is not a gift for an ordinary girl who takes care of a screaming
Contemplate
baby.
my
In
orb.
other words, the gift is only for girls who have lost the baby, victims of mind control. Jareth, the handler, has the power to help Sarah escape the life she loathes, but she must allow him to own her core personality, to control her mind. When Sarah refuses Jareth's offer, which is equivalent to the Faustian theme of selling one soul to the devil, the crystal ball magically turns into a snake and is thrown at her. Jareth
He mentioned deals with the devil, so Satanism on the bingo card.
Then menacingly says, "Don't defy me, Sarah." Seeing that she will not forget about Toby, Jareth tells Sarah that Toby is in her castle and that she has 13 hours to find him. They are both transported into the Labyrinth, which is the big image representing Sarah's inner world under the control of the handler. Inside the Labyrinth, Sarah quickly realizes that it does not obey the rules of reality. She finds herself walking never-ending straight paths leading to nowhere. Sarah then learns that it is only by mentally picturing an entry towards the castle that one will appear. She must make her own path within her own mind.
I mean, I don't know if that's literally true. It's kind of a perspective trick. Cool shot. It's obviously a trick shot, but like it's a fun one. It's just to show that things aren't as they seem and it's an illusion.
Everything keeps changing around her. She meets strange creatures who say confusing riddles that lead to never-ending loops of circular logic.
Wait, that riddle isn't circular logic. There's an actual, like, there's a solution to that riddle. That's a riddle that exists, the one where one guard always tells the truth and one always lies, and you have to figure out which door you need to go behind, and one is safe and one isn't. That's an actual riddle that there's an answer to. What you do is you ask one of the people what the other one would say, and it's always the opposite of what they say.
Her catchphrase appears to be, "It's not fair."
It's not a trick question.
As she repeats it numerous times during the movie. Meanwhile, Jareth is in the castle with Toby monitoring Sarah. In Sarah's path towards the castle, Sarah goes through all kinds of obstacles, many which symbolically represent actual traumas lived by mind control victims. In Sarah's first ordeal, she falls into a pit filled with helping hands. This can refer to the victims being manipulated and abused by hidden handlers.
It's literally just supposed to be gross. It's just a tunnel of hands. It's supposed to be like a weird, off-putting thing. Not meant to symbolize that specifically.
Later, Sarah finds herself in a forest surrounded by the Fire Gang, who are strange singing creatures that can remove body parts at will. The concept of dismembered body parts is central to mind control programming.
No, it's not. Stop making shit up. Green Guy with a $5 tip says, Hannah, my wife is looking for something in her office and had a Microsoft Word 2007 textbook. We've moved 5 times from 2018 to 2022, and 5 times she was like, yep, need this. Hey, you never know. What if you need to use Microsoft Word? An old version.
The Fire Gang's performance soon turns into a nightmare when they jump on Sarah and try to remove her head, again symbolizing the dissociation from reality. Upon escaping the
they're just trying to rip her head off.
Fire Gang, Sarah ends up in an even worse
Fun fact, the puppeteer for Elmo is one of the puppeteers in this scene.
place, the Bog of Eternal Stench. I could get really detailed, but I'm just gonna say that this part is an imaginative way of describing some of Sarah's programming.
What?
After crossing the Bog of Eternal Stench, Sarah is given a gift.
No, get more specific. Say the creepy thing you mean.
One that is poisoned, of course. When Sarah takes a bite from the peach, she feels woozy and starts hallucinating. Monarch slaves are constantly given drugs to amplify the effects of the programming and to incite fear and terror. Laying on the ground, Sarah sees a crystal ball with a symbolic image representing her. Sarah sees a doll in Princess
The bubble. It's also a reference to Wizard of Oz.
Clothes, surrounded by bars, a classic way to portray dissociative mind control slaves. Sarah is then shown at a strange ball with guests wearing masks of goats and pigs and birds, commonly called an Illuminati ball. And she finds
Or a masquerade? How about a masquerade ball? I have never heard anyone call a masquerade ball an Illuminati ball. Just making shit up.
Her handler waiting for her.
Do mind control victims not shower? No, you're thinking of Smash Brothers players.
Jareth and Sarah find each other and begin waltzing together, with Jareth giving suggestive looks to a 15-year-old girl. This scene symbolically portrays a forced union between the slave, who is said to be the princess of her world, and her handler. The lyrics of David Bowie's song that's playing in the background can be interpreted as a love song from a handler to a mind control slave.
No.
The ball then quickly turns into a nightmare, where all of the masked guests start running after her. Is she having a bad trip?
I'm kind of over Death of the Author. Can we have Death of the Viewer?
Sarah starts running, shatters a mirror, and runs through it.
The other clip you sent has a much better solution to the witch door puzzle. Ooh!
One of us speaks nothing but the truth, the other nothing but lies.
Okay, I know this. We have to ask...
Barbarian takes axe and kills the first guard.
What the hell?
The remaining guard. Is he dead? No. This one liar. One of us...
Classic symbol of mind control. Despite all of
You're
those...
probably right. His only exposure to a masquerade is Eyes Wide Shut. Yep, probably.
Troubles,
Kubrick's last film.
Sarah finally reaches the castle and enters it. She finds herself lost in a life-size Escher painting.
I really wish I could have seen Stanley Kubrick's AI. If I could get one, movie that could have been, I really would have liked to have seen Stanley Kubrick's AI. Because Steven Spielberg's AI is... bad? It's bad.
With Toby crawling around.
There's some moments I like from it, but overall, it's quite bad.
Magically appears from everywhere in this scene, the same way a handler would appear in the inner world of monarch slaves.
What?
The entire world around Sarah crumbles, leaving only her facing her handler. Sarah asks Jareth to give her baby brother back, her innocent core. Jareth gives her a classic doublespeak, mind-bending lecture, the kind MK slaves get from their handlers. He says, "I have reordered time. I have turned the world upside down. I have done it all for you. I am exhausted from living up to your expectations of me. Isn't that generous?" He then offers her the crystal ball again, and he says, "Look what I'm offering you. Your dreams. I ask for so little. Just let me rule you, and you can have everything that you want. Just fear me, love me, do as I say, and I will be your slave." This is the classic Faustian deal with the devil proposal, where Jareth says that he asks for so little, while he is actually asking for Sarah's everything, her mind, her body, and her soul. Sarah then starts reciting the lines she was practicing at the beginning of the movie and says, "You have no power over me." Everything crumbles again. Sarah leaves her internal world and finds herself back in the external world, the real world at her house. Toby is back in his crib and everything is apparently back to normal. In her room, she sees some of the creatures she's met in the labyrinth, and she's...
Oh, I know it would have been the same script. I just think Kubrick would have maybe made it flow better. He would have made it work. I could be wrong. At minimum, I think it would be great to see.
To see them. She tells them, "I don't know what..."
Because, Kubrick could do really weird avant-garde things with, out there endings. Spielberg's a little too whimsical. I don't think he pulled it off.
Why? But every now and again in my life, for no reason at all, I need you.
I don't even mind the ending being that fucking weird. I just feel like it's not weird enough. If it wants to be that weird, it needs to be weirder.
In other words,
Trying not to spoil AI if you haven't seen it.
Sarah has accepted the internal
Cronenberg's AI. I'd buy that for $1.
World that was programmed into her by her handler. It now can be triggered by him at any time during her life. The movie closes with David Bowie's song Underground. This song has a very churchy feel, and it has a loud gospel choir backing up David Bowie, and he talks about...
Why aren't we talking about Dance Magic Dance?
A place with no pain. That place is not heaven, but underground, which can be equated to hell, which in mind control terms is the trauma-filled life of an MK
You remind
slave.
me of the Babe. The Babe?
So, in
the
perfect
Babe with the power,
continuation with the movie, Bowie leaves the viewers with one lasting version of good and evil, heaven and hell,
Dance
pleasure and
magic,
pain,
dance
with this
magic.
song. While most viewers interpret the story of Labyrinth as a tale about the importance of imagination, or something of the sorts, the symbolism of the movie gives it a deeper meaning. While the story could be interpreted in numerous ways, references to mind control are definitely present. Once the imagery and the triggers relating to mind control are understood, the movie becomes a vivid description of the internal world of a monarch during programming, totally at the mercy of her handler and the twisted world he has created in her mind. The slave attempts to return to reality, where things make sense. The task is difficult as the handler controls time, hence the 13th hour that keeps popping up on the clock in the movie, and space, secret passages in the labyrinth. During the quest, the slave meets friends who appear to be helping her, but who are, in actuality, leading
Labyrinth
her...
is on Tubi or Plex. Labyrinth is on my shelf downstairs in 4K.
...to exactly where the handler...
I'm not weak enough to need your puny streaming services. I am the lady of the movies. I own them all.
...wants her to be...
I laugh at your streaming services.
In fact, Sarah's entire quest for liberation is actually her being manipulated towards the acceptance of her programming. By going through the labyrinth, Sarah went through all of the trauma necessary to program her. What appears to be the defeat of Jareth is actually a victory, as he successfully programmed Sarah's internal world.
Yeah, no, Labyrinth is a coming-of-age movie with a lot of fantasy elements. Like, that's it. It's great, and you could certainly dissect it and have fun talking about the thematic elements and the symbolism, but not this way. This is terrible.
In her words,
every now and again in her world.
I don't wish, Jodorowsky's Dune was made. I have never seen any version of Dune. I like sci-fi, and this shocks people every time I tell them. I have no interest in Dune. I like Star Trek shiny sci-fi. I really don't like desert, dirty, grungy sci-fi. It's just gross. It's one of the reasons I'm a way bigger Star Trek fan than Star Wars fan. Star Wars is the closest to that kind of sci-fi I get. I don't know. Just a preference. To be clear, I'll see Dune eventually. I'm sure it's well made. I just am not interested in the aesthetic at all. Alright, let's see what's next. Ooh, a flat earth video. I don't think I have the signal, no. I can check. I have an app that has my whole collection. The signal. I don't. You want to know the last Blu-rays I added to my collection? Zone of Interest, the 2019 Shaft film, Love Lies Bleeding, All Our Haunts Be Ours, William Castle double feature with Homicidal and Mr. Sardonicus, Cocaine Fiends, and Popcorn. Anyway, here's a Flat Earth video.
When people...
After this, we'll take a look at the bingo card.
Will finally wake up to the truth that we do not live on a spinning ball, but rather a non-rotating level plane, and what is above, below, and beyond.
What is this music? Am I gonna get in trouble for this music? No, it seems fine. Okay.
We still don't know. The first question they
Mr. Sardonicus is a good one, and Homicidal is also good. It's a Psycho ripoff. The ending is a bit, if you've seen it, you know what I mean. But you know, it's of the era. I don't have Garbage Pail Kids the movie. I want it so bad. It's out of print. It's out of print. Believe me, I would have it. Believe me. If I could have Garbage Pail Kids, I would have it. Believe me, I'd have the best Garbage Pail Kids in the entirety of the Blu-ray community. I would have the best Garbage Pail Kids of all time. Penekagami says, the Illuminati, finally someone's talking about how we have to stop Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, Black Bolt, and Tony Stark from betraying Bruce Banner and dooming the Earth to the wrath of the Hulk because they assumed they knew better. Oh wait, he's talking about the fake media and mind control shit. Get back to me when the real conspiracy convo starts. You forgot T'Challa. T'Challa's in the Illuminati too.
Why the lie? Why the lie? So many people have said they believe the lie is because they don't want you to know who you really are, which we know that we are very powerful people. Our mind is very, very powerful. They want to keep resources from you. They want you to believe that unless we go and find other planets, we're going to run out of these resources. They want you to take you away from God, and so on and so forth. However, for me,
Italian Shakespeare says, I know Mr. Sardonicus had a gimmick of the audience picks the end, but there ever an alternative end from the one made? No. It was a gimmick where he was like, oh, should we punish Mr. Sardonicus or not? And you would get these, like, paddles that had a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And regardless of what people did, he always got punished. It was the illusion of choice. So no, there is no alternate ending to Mr. Sardonicus, despite the implication that there should be. And there should be, but I like the ending as it sits.
I've come to the conclusion the biggest
Yeah, doesn't understand the problem is capitalism on the bingo card.
lie is
I really like William Castle movies. He's a lot of fun. I like William Castle.
because
MH Sharkbeast says, speaking of 4K, did you see this sexy release from Shout they announced? Is this... Let me guess before I click on this. Is the stepfather? I don't know. Oh, Death Becomes Her. I did see they're doing Death Becomes Her. Out of this, I want Death Becomes Her and Shocker. Oh, Drag Me to Hell also. Drag Me to Hell's pretty good. Not my favorite Sam Raimi movie, but a fun one.
they want
Sorry, I'm very tangenting on Blu-rays right now. Conspiracy! This is a conspiracy stream. Okay.
you to believe you live in a fictional world. Therefore, your fictional character, which is known as your straw man, will work in that world.
Oh no.
So
it's like sovereign citizen language.
when we look at the word lawful and legal, there's a maxim of law that says he who creates it owns it. They've created a globe. You see, in the natural world, God's world, nature, I say God, whoever that is for you, it could be natural creation sorts, whoever, but I'm just using God as a reference.
That's very valid, Halloween Town. I'd agree with that.
Patent what is organic. They cannot take away and manipulate what is organic. They can create from it, but they cannot change it. So they cannot change the non-rotating level plane.
This is the weirdest mismatch of, like, Sobsit and Flat Earth I've seen. I've never seen them this thoroughly mesh the two beliefs. Like, I've certainly seen sovereign citizens who are Flat Earthers, but normally the beliefs are... They're comorbid, but they don't usually mix. It's like she stuck them in a blender and hit puree.
But they need you to believe in them and not God. They need you to believe in fiction and not reality. So therefore they've created a globe. And on this globe, they control your mind. And on this globe, they register you. You see, they've created...
Does she think there weren't governments before people knew the Earth was round? Because, like, societies and leadership and laws predate that, for the record.
Corporations. They've created birth certificates. They've registered your birth certificate to these corporations. A corporation is a dead entity. It's fake. It doesn't exist, just like the globe. They've made you believe you are living on a spinning ball on this world that doesn't exist. And they call it a globe. And on the globe we have globalism. We have global warming. We have globalists. All of it doesn't exist. Global warming doesn't exist.
It does. Climate change is a real and genuine threat. It is caused by human activity. We know this. As much as we can know anything based on evidence, we know that anthropogenic climate change is a real threat to humans and every other life form on this fucking planet.
It's all fake. You see, in this fake world, on this globe, we have digital currency. It doesn't exist. They create money from thin air. We have your straw man, which is there to become part of the commerce system, contract system, because you see, you as a person can't do business without your straw man. So they need to create a separate world, a legal world, where you can be your straw man. And in that world, they make you believe that you have to pay taxes. You have to...
Oh, she's gonna go to jail.
Give away.
Directly to jail. Gotta pay your taxes, lady.
Your hard-earned money. In that world, they have taken away what God has naturally given you, which is dominion over...
Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. Jesus said that.
The earth. They've taken away the land, air, and water from you. And because you do not know where you live, you have given it to them. You have given up your right of dominion over what God naturally gave you. It's even in the Bible. And you have decided to live in a fictional world called the globe. And there, they own your mind. You see, in this fictional world, they register. Everything is registered, and you've registered your rights away. The rights that you were given from birth. You've registered your children away.
Where do you think rights come from? Your rights are literally protected by other people, by the social contract, by the Constitution, and the legal entities that exist because of it.
Registered your car away. They've taken away what is yours. And you are not ready to claim it back, because if you are not ready to realize that you have your own senses, your own eyes, your own feelings which tell you we are not spinning. This is all a lie. Pull back the curtain and realize you live here and you own an equal share of the earth, and they've taken it away from you. In this fictional world, they create currency. They create birth certificates. They create contracts. They create your straw man. They create slavery. They've created slavery because you don't know who you are, because you don't even know where you live. Because he who creates it owns it. And if you truly believe you live on a spinning ball, then you are owned. You are owned because you've not centered yourself to your very own existence, that you are not spinning. Don't forget, in their world, you will own nothing and be happy. They're going to take everything away from you because they think they own you. Do you know why? Because they've made you sign everything over to them with their fake money, mortgages, fraudulent, globalism, fraudulent, global warming, fraudulent, doesn't exist, none of it exists.
I don't understand what she means by saying globalism is fraudulent. Like, the economy and political environment we live in is global, objectively. Like, it's not a thing you can call a fraud. Like, you can say you don't like it, which I think is ignorant. But what do you mean it's fraudulent? Do you think there aren't people doing trade all around the world? All around the world, statues crumble for me. 29 years old, my mother, God bless her soul.
When are you going to realize none of this exists? It's all man-made. What is natural is nature. That cannot be touched. We are so close to collectively waking up. And when people say, well, doesn't matter if the earth is flat or round, actually it's part of your spiritual awakening. Now here is something we should be concentrating on. As per God's law, until someone can bring the Creator into a court of law to provide first-hand testimony, which is cross-examinable, that one person has more authority than another, then logic and reason can only conclude we are all entitled to an...
Some people have more authority than others, demonstrably. Courts exist, police exist. What are you talking about? There's a hydrate command. I have to go fill my water and use the bathroom real quick. So I will do that, and then I'll return, and we'll take a look at the bingo card and finish up this video. Be right back. I've returned. Hydrate. You actually met Mark McGrath once. He was too drunk to say anything beyond single-syllable answers. That seems on brand.
Equal benefit of the fruit.
Right-wing roundup tomorrow. That's cool. I gotta see if Jeff wants to do something. We haven't done anything in a really long time. It'd be fun to have him on for a tinfoil day or something.
Fruits of creation. And we are all equal under the law. And no one is above the law. When I say law, I mean small l, not man-made law. Each of us is gifted with our minds, with our own bodies and our conscience, to allow us to determine what is right from wrong. And hence, we can explore this reality as long as we do not cause harm, injury and loss. When you live in their fiction, in their legal world, you lose this. You lose this privilege to use your own mind and determine your own outcome. In the legal fiction, you are a slave. You are bound by legislation, acts and statutes. And you are told you're not allowed to drive on the roads unless you have register your car to a corporation and pay fines that you don't need for profit. Everything is for profit. In the legal world, even your birth certificate.
Is she the law or am I the law? Sylvester Stallone in the 90s is actually the law.
Created a for-profit person, which is you. They are making money on you in a world that does not exist, because nature is natural and no one can own it. But in the legal world, the fictional globe, they own you. That's why the globe is so important, because it doesn't exist. You don't exist in their world unless you want to, unless you choose to. When you are ready to wake up and come back to reality, when your mother or father used to say to you, you live in a fantasy world, come back to reality. Well, guess what? They created that fantasy world for you, and you are living in that world right now. And it is time for you to come back to reality and realize that you...
Charlotte did nothing wrong says, update for my earlier bits message. Just found out apparently my car's radiator cap was just screwed on wrong. Yay! Hannah's my good luck charm. Praise Hannah. Well, that's great. I'm glad it's not some big, dumb, expensive thing. That's always a pain. And Fennikagami says, I have an uncle-in-law who was on a plane with Elon Musk once. According to him, Musk seemed nice. People just don't understand people put on performances when in public, and beyond that, people interpersonally can be kind, but monsters with just one level of abstraction. Yeah, Musk is a dick. I don't think the ketamine has helped him. Allegedly.
You are not in their legal fiction. You are not a straw man. You are not a person. You are a living, breathing man or woman with the right...
You don't know if I breathe.
...to self-determination, and you need to grow up. You need to become an adult and start taking responsibility for your...
The day I have to become an adult and start taking responsibility is the day I jump off a cliff.
...decisions. Because
adjudicated.
If you don't, you will own nothing and apparently be happy. This period of time is about ascending and disclosure. We are mentally and spiritually ascending, and we need to disclose the lies and corruption to then manifest a new future, a fair and just one, where people begin to build communities rather than societies. But to do that, the first rule of manifestation is to know thyself.
No, I don't regret that.
Know who you truly are, where you truly belong, and know where you truly are going. Now remember, your silence means you are consenting. If you say nothing, that means you are happy to live like this. I'm not. I am not happy to live like this. I want a fair world with no wars, with equal shares of what is originally ours, God-given. This is why I speak up, and this is why it's so important.
What do you want to bet she considers the concept of socialism or communism evil?
Drop the globe.
And satanic, despite just saying she wants equal shares for people.
Drop the legal fiction. You are not your birth certificate. You are not the straw man. You are not a corp. You are a living, breathing man and woman. Protect yourself. Wake up. Know where you are and who you are.
All right, let's take a look at the bingo card. We haven't had as many as we've had, but we still have some. Flat Earth, gay agenda, Fourier symbology as evidence, shilling scamming for all the life extension bullshit. Word salad. Hannah mentions Blu-rays. Doesn't understand their problem is capitalism. Satanism. Or satanic. Clinton's, Biden's, Obama's. MK Ultra. Illuminati, Freemasons, Cabal. Popular media is evil. And I think that's it. Pretty sure that's it. That should get us up to date on the bingo. Now, I said the socialism thing. She didn't, so. There you go. Sorry, sometimes when I switch, it doesn't work and it freezes, and I have to go to a different screen and back. Don't know why. Nah, he was just citing fiction with War of the Worlds. So that doesn't count. Alright, what are we going to do next? Oh, no. So you know those people who claim to channel people? The Channeling Eric channel? They're claiming to channel the spirit of the guy who tried to shoot Trump. The game is afoot. Check it out. Oh, sorry, Fennikagami. Fennikagami says, is it alleged if his own daughter says he has a ketamine addiction? That is literally an allegation by someone, yes. Also, good news, Hannah, you can stay a child forever and only occasionally take responsibility. Just stay a child at heart. I don't think we had believed sci-fi tech is real. I don't think we did.
Hello, beautiful people. We have the wonderful Ginger Bailey, whose information is in the description box and will be on the screen. And we have my lovely boy, Eric Medhus, who is on the other side. It's going to help us.
The entire concept of this video is offensive to morals and good taste. I agree. Let's watch.
Navigate this, what is I think going to be a very emotional and dark session, unfortunately. We're going to do,
let's broadcast it.
Take another look
2 parts.
at Thomas Crooks. This is probably going to be more than one YouTube people, but let me give you a little bit of data if you guys have been living under a rock. Thomas Matthew Crooks, 2003 to 2024, was an American man who attempted to assassinate Donald Trump, the former president of the U.S., and at that time the presumptive Republican Party nominee. He hit
still is
Trump's ear and killed one attendee while critically injuring 2 others before being killed by the Secret Service counter sniper team. So, Eric, do we have Thomas with us?
He's here. He's been with me this morning.
Okay.
Yeah, he's here. He's here.
Awkward, right? How does that conversation go? I remind you in chat, you're not allowed to wish harm on anyone via Twitch TOS. If you say anything, if you say anything that's in favor of violence, I do have to delete it. Twitch TOS. You are. We're all We're all dancing on a razor's edge on this one, so let's do our best.
Back.
So he's saying...
Oh, you're right. He is the nominee. Sorry, I forgot the RNC happened. That's pretty bad for them. I'm pretty politically engaged, and I forgot the RNC happened. Oh boy, Kamala really is taking the wind out of their sails.
Thank you for having him here. Thank you for giving.
Yeah, I hope his parents never see this video either.
Him a voice. Eric, first of all, Eric wants to say I love you. Eric's saying I love you, and he's also wants to say hi to everyone.
Of course, everyone does.
Yeah. And then Tom does too. He goes by Tom, I guess.
Okay.
He's saying Tom
All
is
right.
what he goes by. He's saying a lot of people are very upset with me, as they should be.
Yeah.
It's a whoopsie doodle. Whoopsie doo. Oopsie doopsie poopsie. I did a little bit of an attempted assassination on a presidential candidate. That's my bad. Won't do it again.
There is some mental illness that, I'm sure there might be in the questions he's saying. There's probably questions about this. But it was like he's showing me tunnel vision. He got his mind on something, set on it, and he was just like a bullet.
Yeah.
That's an apt metaphor, I guess.
Like, no pun intended in a way, but he's like, it was like I was just in that direction. I didn't turn, like he didn't waver off of, his direction.
That's also not true. We know from his searches now that he had searched other political events. He had looked for Democratic events as well. He just seemingly wanted to go harm anyone who was famous. I don't know why. I really don't. But it wasn't just a Donald Trump thing. It was he wanted to kill someone famous for whatever reason. Benikagami says, I don't wish harm on Trump. He and the Republicans are doing a great job of destroying themselves right now. They don't need outside help. Trump's picking a fight with Fox News again. The last thing we need is Trump as a martyr. We don't need that. That would be very bad. The best thing that can happen to Trump is he continues to the election and loses. That's good. Let's do that.
Were you paid for the
vote?
What are these 3 encrypted offshore accounts? What's that all about?
What?
So he wasn't paid.
What's my opinion on how these two women would react to the idea that Crooks was rational if they could accept that idea? I mean, I don't even necessarily think he was rational. I don't think it's rational what he did, but I just think they would outright deny that because they think they're talking to him and he's not saying that. So
he's saying he wasn't paid by somebody to do this? He's saying no to that?
Well, what were encrypted accounts offshore? What's that all about?
Something he's showing me is his mind, the way his mind worked. It was very, very intelligent, like beyond like the average intelligence. He would get into things like online, like conspiracy.
He needed to put fewer stats into intelligence and more into perception. That's couched in a Fallout joke. That's fine.
Like, I'm trying to see how he's explaining how he means this. It's like, he was really into conspiracies like the Kennedy assassination, things like that. And also on top of that, he liked mysterious, like doing things that were mysterious. He would do certain things. But with the offshore accounts, what he's saying...
Oh, I think they would rationalize it, depraved ambiance. Like all conspiracy theorists, they would rationalize it somehow. They won't admit they're wrong.
About this was something... He was just checking out if it worked, like checking out if it worked. It wasn't like there were like hidden money, like he's trying to hide money, he's saying. It wasn't like hidden money, but it was something that he was seeing if he could do it. Thank you. I was trying to get what he's saying. Like it's something he was seeing if he could do this, if this was something.
Well, he found out. Benny Kagami says, I agree with you, Hannah. Trump dying right now would be bad. It does look like I was kind of right thinking that this was more a mass shooting Trump just happened to be there for. Trump was a target of convenience more than anything, yeah. Surprisingly enough, I was surprised to find that too.
Bank accounts or social media accounts? Or something else?
He's saying there was a bank account. One
DeviantArt accounts.
was a bank account, but there were also social media. There was something with the social media, he's saying.
Okay.
Yeah. He had connections. He would go online and he would search. Like, this was like a big thing that he did.
Yeah.
He would like search and just read about things, read about people who were assassins in the past, you know, even like far back in history, you know.
Wow.
This was this things that his mind would get on. He just keeps showing,
pushing for conspiracy.
I mean, his mind would get on something and it would just like it didn't get off of it. It was just like a sharp focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now you had explosives, and some of them were near a gas line. Did you have real nefarious plans to just blow up more than just the attempted assassination shot?
He says yes. He's not saying that he was going to do a gas line. No, it wasn't for the gas line. But he really didn't think he would make it out that day.
Okay.
He didn't think he was going to get away from this.
Shit.
This was before.
I could guess that. I don't think
saying
anyone tries to shoot a presidential nominee and expects to make it out.
Before he went in and did this, he was going to, there was too much security. His plan wasn't working out with the explosives. So, because he was going to try to do a couple things that day, but the one thing he ended up doing was, the shooting. Yeah, the shooting. Something that he's saying here is Donald Trump was just one of his targets. Like, he had other ideas, like, not that he was going to go off and start shooting people if he got away, but he's saying, like, before Donald Trump, he wasn't the only one. He thought of other leaders, other people that were prominent, other prominent, even
that's just in the news, though. They posted this 2 days ago, and that's been in the news for like a week at least. Are they literally just skimming headlines and then rereading and like trying to form a narrative around it?
Okay, he considered.
I stated that as a question. That's more of a statement, though. Seems like they're reading headlines about this and then trying to form a coherent narrative surrounding it in order to make it seem like they're psychic.
Of these, he wanted to be, in his mind, he was wanting to be like. So what he says is being a loner. He was a big loner in life.
It worked out for Mark David Chapman, so we should definitely give that a shot. Well, that doesn't even make sense.
Socialize well. He talks about personality disorder, which from a spiritual point of view, he says he sees now was real, like was really a personality disorder. He had depression. Mm-hmm. He had something going on with his mind. He knew there was something wrong with his mind. He knew there was.
Yeah.
But what he's saying is, again, his mind would get on something and just roll with it, but he didn't want to live anymore, first of all, so it's almost like it was a suicide,
Okay, I think that's all of this I can take. This is insufferable. I can't believe they get together and do that crap so often. So fucked up. Okay, let's see what's next. Oh, here's a fun one. What, do you fools think North Korea exists? Ridiculous.
Well, there he is, folks. The boogeyman himself. The most scary, diabolical dictator on Earth. Not only is he the biggest nuclear threat to the United States, he's also the biggest threat to the world. One push of a button, and this guy could blow up you, me, and everybody you know. I mean, just look at him. If you were to come across this guy in a dark alley...
I'm sorry, is his argument that someone in charge of a nuclear arsenal is fat? Like, is his argument literally like, I think this guy looks goofy, so I'm not afraid of him? Like, okay, he still is in charge of nuclear weapons? What's the point? Stone Corbell says, goofy music, that's my argument.
Wouldn't you just tuck tail and shit your pants and run away scared? I sure as heck would.
I guess I don't even understand the thought. If you think it's all a psyop, then wouldn't they get like a scary looking guy? Why would they intentionally have someone who doesn't look the role of an evil dictator? You know what I mean?
Alright, am I the only one that thinks this is hilarious? I hope you are catching my sarcasm because I'm laying it on pretty freaking thick here, people. Is this guy actually scary to anyone? Does this guy's army scare anyone?
Again, mostly the nuclear weapons. Like, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but a lot of people would die, because that's the nature of nuclear weapons. Even if they got one off and hit Japan, or South Korea, or anywhere, it would be devastating to the people there. So it's not so much that it's an existential threat to the world or the US, but it would hurt a lot of people, so, you know, maybe care about that.
Am I the only one that finds this whole thing completely friggin' hilarious? North Korea isn't a terrorist threat. Look at these guys. Look at this army. It's a bunch of 90-pound weaklings. They look like a bunch of vegans. Let's watch these guys in...
I mean, there have been some famines in their day, so...
battle. Whoa, man, they just came out of that makeshift helicopter and did some barrel rolls. Holy cow.
You're literally watching North Korean propaganda, sir. They have nuclear weapons, and as people in chat are saying, guns? It's not about it being an existential threat to everyone, it's about them having the capability of harming people.
And then there he is watching the whole thing from his office. Sure, I believe that. Like, hey, let me grab my binoculars and take a closer look. Oh yeah, I like what's going on out there. Looks...
I mean, this is a North Korean propaganda video you're watching, so it is constructed. But that doesn't mean that North Korea isn't real?
Good to me. And at this point, Kim Jong is kind enough to take us through a wonderful tour of the Karate Chopping Institution Training Center and Facility, where they...
Again, this is a North Korean propaganda video, but does he not know that militaries do learn hand-to-hand combat? That is a thing.
They, of course, teach them how to do why-all and what-alls, as you can see.
Like, there are people in the United States military that do hand-to-hand combat, not like martial arts like this, but, you know, they do, like, train sometimes and whatever.
Here. If you were to lose your gun and your knife and be stranded in Korea and then have to do hand-to-hand combat with these guys, you can see just how strong they are.
Again, this is propaganda. Does he not get it?
I mean, look at these guys. This dude right here can punch through these banners. And then this other guy, you can throw a stone at him and it doesn't even faze him. I mean, you can pick up a big old rock and toss it and it doesn't even hurt these guys. This guy's using his fingers to poke some light bulbs. This guy's twisting himself around in a rope or something. I mean, obviously...
That's rebar. Rebar.
These guys are some tough dudes. These are not the type of guys you want to be doing hand-to-hand combat with. And of course, my favorite part is when this one guy puts his hand over the concrete slab and then this other guy chops an axe into the guy's hand, which then breaks the concrete. Very useful in...
Yeah, that's definitely fake. It's a North Korean propaganda video. It's interesting how he clearly recognizes this is weird, but he doesn't understand to what end. Like, this isn't meant to convince you. This broadcasts in North Korea. This is for them. This isn't propaganda for you.
In times of war, extremely useful. So obviously, as you have just witnessed, North Korea is a huge military and nuclear threat to the United States and
they do have nuclear weapons and missiles, yes.
the world.
That's the reason that people are concerned about them.
And because of that, the U.S. has been testing our missile intercepting system. That's right, if North Korea thinks that they can just shoot a missile at the good old US of A, well, guess what? We can shoot a missile and intercept their missile. Or so they want you to believe.
Oh, I know, Trey. There's propaganda fucking everywhere.
Did you guys notice that's a model rocket?
What?
Looked to me like a glorified model rocket, maybe a step above the kind that me and my friends used to launch when we were like 10 years old. Did you guys ever used to launch model rockets back when you were a kid? Take a good look at what this looks like to you. Military grade missile?
Yep. Thinks evidence is self-evident on the bingo card.
Or toy model rocket. I'm leaning towards toy model rocket. Let's watch it in super slow-mo. Look at the way it deploys.
I'm gonna assume that was a typo.
And then watch the thrusters come on now. Yeah, that looks like a toy rocket. So that's supposed to represent the nuclear missile attack that would be coming from North Korea. So if North Korea was ballsy enough to attempt an attack on the United States, guess what? The United States is ready with a missile intercepting system. You see, we got this here hole in the ground, and we can do a little something like...
Trey says that's a $1.5 million interceptor missile. I appreciate having people in my chat who have special interests that can tell me things about these videos. Thank you, Trey.
Like this. We can shoot us a rocket out of our hole in the ground. Yeah, did anyone notice if you watch it slow-mo, the rocket comes out above the flames, but it doesn't seem to come out of the hole. It looks like a bunch of fire coming out of the hole. And then if you look above the flames, suddenly a rocket appears. It says...
It was obscured by the smoke as it came out.
If they shot some fire out of a hole and then CGI'd in a rocket. Like, screw them. We'll show them a model rocket the first time. And then the second time, we'll shoot some flames out of a hole. And then we'll CGI in a rocket at the end. They won't know. They're stupid. In my opinion...
At least one of the viewers watching this is.
And that rocket, the second go-around there, looks like it was CGI'd in above some flames that shot out of a hole in the ground. The first one was what looked to me like a glorified model rocket. So what they want you to believe is we have a missile intercepting system, so that if somebody like North Korea or Russia or what have you was to shoot a nuclear missile at us, we could shoot our own missile and meet it just perfectly in midair. Kaboom! And
I mean, that's the idea when it works. Yeah.
Save everything.
Like, is he not familiar with, like, the Iron Dome? Like, missile intercept technology fucking exists. It's not even new. Like, what is he talking about?
Everyone.
That's kind of part of an arms race, is you build a big missile, someone builds a missile to counter your missile. You build a better missile that can counter their missile or disappear from their missile so they can't target it. It's escalation. That's what happens, yeah?
Do you really think that's possible?
Theoretically, yes. Is it foolproof? Absolutely not. There's a certain % success rate on things like this. That's why we have a lot of them.
Steer a missile into an oncoming missile and hit it just perfectly in midair?
They have guidance systems that they develop specifically for this. Yeah.
Is that something you believe in?
Yes.
That you can steer a missile and hit another missile.
I don't even understand what he thinks is impossible about that. If you understand missiles exist, and you understand targeting systems exist, why can you not hit a missile with another missile?
Well, that's what they want you to believe in. The Western media likes to portray North Korea as this military threat that we should all be afraid of.
Again, not in terms of any sort of ground war, but yeah, they have nuclear missiles. That's a big deal, yeah.
The closer I look, the more CGI layers I see. Whenever they show us these supposed military armies marching and these tanks and vehicles, these trucks driving around with these supposed nuclear weapons, what I see are glorified stage props and CGI layering. All that shit in the background, that looks fake to me.
Why? What about it?
That looks like CGI in the background.
How so? You can't, like, you're just saying it. Why do you think that? It just looks like a building. What do you mean it looks like CGI?
And then those trucks, how do you know they're not just carrying glorified water tanks that are dressed up like rockets? How do you know those things are even capable of getting up off the truck?
I don't know if the ones that they parade around are literally functional missiles or just mock-ups for parades. Seems like it would be easier to me to have ones that are for show for parades like this and then have actual ones that stay in the silos. But that doesn't mean they don't have them. We know they have them. The geopolitical situation surrounding North Korea would be very different if they didn't have them. Just for the record. Jitara says, also depending on where they're shot from, it could take several minutes for the missile to actually hit its target. That's enough time to mobilize a fighter jet or missile to intercept an incoming enemy missile.
Let alone making it to the United States. The way that flag flaps in the wind looks like CGI to me.
Man, what isn't CGI to this, dude?
The background, the buildings don't look right to me. This looks like typical Hollywood movie shit. I mean, with today's CGI capabilities, very little has to be real. You can literally just take a few people and a few stage props, and then just CGI in the rest of it. And
this guy has no idea how that works, does he?
Make it look like it's this huge army and they have all these missiles and military capability, when in reality, it's just another Hollywood movie set. In my opinion, Kim Jong-un is not a military threat to the United States, or to anybody for that matter. And North Korea does not exist as most people think it does. I think North Korea only exists as a CIA state, a state of mind control. This has been the opinion of Jake the Asshole. Please like, share, and subscribe. Peace.
Alright, we're about halfway through the stream, so time for my calls to action to annoy you all. On YouTube, do me a favor, like the stream, and if you'd like to support the stream, you can always gift memberships, get a membership yourself, or do super chats. On Twitch, bits and subscriptions are always appreciated. We couldn't do the stream without them. Alright, let's see what we're going to cover next. Oh yeah, sleepaway camp! The Chutes and Ladders lady is gonna transvestigate sleepaway camp, which is hilarious if you're familiar with sleepaway camp.
Welcome back, campers. It's the Wretched Recess Summer Camp Transvestigation series.
I love Sleepaway Camp. Sleepaway Camp's my favorite campground horror movie. I think it does a better job than any of the Friday the 13th movies of actually having an atmosphere of, like, a camp. It's great. You're not? Could I explain? I sure can. Spoilers for Sleepaway Camp. Spoilers for Sleepaway Camp. The main character in Sleepaway Camp is, this young woman here, what's her name? Angela. And she turns out, spoilers for Sleepaway Camp, turns out she's the killer. And then also it turns out she's secretly trans. She's trans the whole time. And it's like a horror shot that she has a dick. So it's unfortunately really transphobic, but you know, it's a classic slasher movie. The reveal is crazy. I cannot explain to you that one of the final shots of this movie is her, just a wide shot of her completely naked with an erect cock. And it's a horror shot. Anyway, so yeah, trans panic shit. So anyway, she's gonna transvestigate this movie. To be clear, overall, good movie. It is actually a good slasher movie, but it is one of those movies that's incredibly problematic. For me, I like Angela. Angela's one of my favorite trans characters in fiction. She's a fucking icon. Do wish she didn't murder the kids in the end of this. Because most of in Sleepaway Camp, she murders people who deserve it. Like, the first murder she does is against a pedophile. Which, like, hell yeah, I get that. But then at the end, she just kills a bunch of kids for no reason, and they didn't need to do that. Yes, she's also holding a severed head and has a knife. But people forget that, because obviously, girl dick is scarier than murder.
We can't talk about summer camp and transvestigations without talking about the cult classic horror movie Sleepaway Camp, one of my favorites. The best news is that...
Let me see if I can find, like, a picture of Sleepaway Camp, that shot that's, like, censored, because I obviously can't show the whole thing. Like, I can't show you Angela's girl dick. But I do want to show you most of the shot. Here it is. This'll work. Okay, so this is the shot. It's like a wide shot like this, except it goes down further, and there is an erect penis. So there you go.
Sleepaway Camp is on YouTube.
Hydrate, will do. Why was she erect? Don't know. They never say.
For free right now, so I will link that. But there's a lot to unpack here, so let's get started. Super quick synopsis, if you've never seen this, there's also a Wikipedia page where you can read this whole thing. Sleepaway Camp is a 1983 American slasher. It was filmed in upstate New York in 1982. So this
was she not erect? Okay, I Mandela affected myself into her being fully erect. Toriador says, I did a drag Halloween costume of the Sleepaway Camp slasher. The theme for the con last year was Summer Camp Slasher. I posted a pic in the live stream chat on your Discord. Oh, hell yeah. Let me go find it. Live stream chat. Ah! I love it! Hold on, where can I open this? Open in browser. I love that. That's good.
Movie starts off with this man, John Baker, and he has a boyfriend. And for the early 80s, I don't know how common that was to have...
Not common. Not common at all.
A gay couple as the, you know, like, main couple, but that was the case in this movie, so that made it probably...
Main couple?
Probably unique at the time. But this man here has 2 children, Peter and Angela. And
Profane Priestess says, the Kim family is, in all but name, one of the world's few remaining absolute monarchies. Technically, rule isn't hereditary, but leadership of both the party and the People's Army has remained with the families for 76 years, and things show no signs of changing when Jong-un passes. The fact that one person has autocratic control of a nuclear power is very dangerous. That kind of power being subject to individual whim is a frightening prospect.
And it starts off with a very horrible accident in the water, and that's very important.
Was the character erect in the Robot Chicken parody? Did I confuse the robot chicken parody for the actual thing in my head? Did I mix them up?
The rest of the movie. So this is the actual Angela at the beginning of the movie, and this is the actual Peter. There's a lot that happens in this movie, so I'm saying this is like the real original Angela.
Oh, good, Jaden. Hope you get the
this
job.
Is Peter. So they see people, you know, having fun, water skiing, different things, and they want to try and, you know, do some water activities also. Okay, so then these teenagers come along and their friend is back there water skiing, okay? And this guy is driving the boat and this girl is begging him to let her try driving the boat. I won't go through the whole movie, but I just want you to understand the disaster that happens at the beginning. So she's begging him to drive the boat and he lets her. And this girl knows what's coming. She wants to stop and they won't stop. She's begging them to stop. So the teenagers are, you know, just fooling around. The girl doesn't know how to drive the boat. And here's John and the kids, Angela and Peter. And they actually fall off of their boat. They were all standing. They fall off of their boat and now they're all in the water. All right, so John and the kids are in the water. This girl, they switch places. She's about to drive. And I'm sure you know where this is going, right? Here's his boyfriend going, hey, you know, what's going on? He knows something's coming as well. Let's go. Time to get going, he's saying. And maybe a little foreshadowing, he just said...
Is Sleepaway Camp transphobic or problematic? I know the sequels very quickly had Angela say I had surgery as a throwaway line, but still is an aspect of the film that is badly aged. Oh yeah, it's treated as a horror thing. The fact that she's trans, or whatever, however they conceived it at the time, I would call her trans, it's problematic the way that it's done. Yeah. It's very problematic. I still enjoy the movie because, trans inclusion and trans characters are so rare in movies. Even when you see one that's incredibly problematic from the 80s, you kind of go, well, it's what we got. I have to headcanon this into something I like. And I do like the movie, and I do like Angela, but there is an aspect of if there were better representation, I'm sure I'd prefer that. But, you know, you get what you get.
Okay, fellas, it's time to get going. He called them both fellas. All right, guys, so there will be spoilers in this. I don't know how to do...
Is psycho-transphobic? I don't think it has to be, but it is. Norman clearly has DID. Norman has dissociative identity disorder. People might take it as transphobic, but I don't, because he's not trans. He has DID. Now, William Castle's homicidal, that's pretty transphobic.
I have to talk about this movie.
What all these movies have in common is the idea that the only reason someone might be trans is due to either being forced into it, or some sort of severe trauma causing it. And that is not the case. Plenty of people have trauma. I have my own trauma, but it's not why I'm trans, you know?
Transvestigation. So there are spoilers.
And also the implications that transness or non-gender conformity goes along with violence. That's its own can of worms.
If you want to watch the movie, I'm going to link it. Then you can watch the video. But interesting.
Glenn or Glenda holds up.
Calls them fellas. He's like, okay, fellas, to these two kids. It's a boy and a girl. It's time to go. And probably some foreshadowing there for what's about to come. And they just mentioned Aunt Martha and Ricky, and they are both very important characters in this movie also.
True profane priestess.
All right, so the water skier and the boat are heading right in their direction. And these two are just
it's
talking.
Taking forever.
And
literally, the boat murders the dad and one of the kids. That's all you need to say. Why is she taking so long to explain this scene?
Whatever, they're not paying attention, and
boat
she's
hits
screaming
them.
At them, telling them
Say it.
To pay attention. They're still in the water. And he sees the boat coming and knows that it's way too close. This genius finally figures out what's going on. And they crash into them, into John and the kids. Here's the boyfriend, Lenny, and he sees this all happen. He sees John and the kids get struck by the boat. So that's John, the father. He dies. He got killed here. And they don't show it, but Angela dies, okay? The real Angela dies. The only survivor of that accident was the little boy, Peter, okay? We're going to come back to the movie so I can show you more parts, but let's talk a little bit about the cast. All right, well, I already told you the real Angela died in that boat accident, so that's a major spoiler right here, because here's the star of our movie. This is Angela. I'm doing like air quotes with my fingers, okay? This is Angela.
She goes by Angela. Her name is Angela.
She lives with her aunt, Martha, who I'm going to show in a second, who is...
Oh my god, she takes so long. The aunt forces Peter to become Angela. That's all she needs to say.
Very, very bizarre. And her cousin, Ricky. And this whole movie is about Angela and Ricky going to...
Joan Corbell says, honestly, the way she recaps movies reminds me of the way kids talk about them. And then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. Like, what's your thesis, lady? Get to your point. Yeah, she doesn't know how to summarize what's important versus what isn't. Like, you just need to get the parts that support your thesis. You don't need to recount the whole goddamn thing.
To summer camp together. This person is, Angela is played by Felissa Rose. And I guess this is Jonathan Tiersten plays Ricky. Judy is played by somebody named Karen Fields. We'll get to her. Okay, so here's Angela, and here's the cousin Ricky. Okay, so like cute kid. We're going to transvestigate Angela. One moment.
This is so mean.
All right, guys. So, noticeably, those ears are way lower than the eyes, and Angela's jaw is just like a dead giveaway this entire time. This is a pretty easy transvestigation because this whole movie is about...
Have you considered that they cast her specifically so in post hoc realization you would go, oh,
Angela is actually well, maybe I'll wait and say that part. let's focus on the transvestigation. So Angela has a huge jaw. Let's look at the rest of her body.
Yes, the actress is cis. To be clear, the actress is cis.
Her jaw is very, very noticeable. Stands out in this movie a lot. Angela is incredibly boyish in appearance. She has very, very long arms. And if you look at the profile there, I mean, if you get rid of that long hair, I mean, it just looks like a boy, right? Like big masculine jaw.
Literally just looks like an adolescent child.
Kids are pretty young, but you can already see it. Aunt Martha is the scariest tranny in town.
Strike one.
I need to look up the cast real quick. Part of me wonders...
He is a really scary character.
If that's...
Jade Monkey, thanks for 11 months, says, wow. Same.
The dad or the boyfriend just in drag, right? I mean, this is clearly not a woman. And this is the aunt that...
The aunt is also played by a cis woman. No trans people are in this movie. Like, none of the actors or actresses are trans, to my knowledge. All cis people.
Angela goes to live with, and her cousin. So, yeah. Aunt Martha is a very interesting character. Aunt Martha is played by this actress. You're gonna love this. Desiree Gold. Look at the arm. Those are the most masculine arms I've ever seen. And look at the...
How many women do you know? Jesus Christ, lady.
Face. Look at that, like, just masculine face and everything. But the arm gets me, look.
I wonder how much of this comes from her own insecurities about how she looks. And she feels the need to lash out at others about her perceiving what she believes to be a lack of femininity. and instead of that reflecting back on her, she like shoots it outward and projects that insecurity outward.
And Aunt Martha just speaks like a total drag queen. I mean, that's just a
drag queens aren't trans women.
Man with deep set eyes and you know, it's just a man. Slow.
Those are literally stereotypically feminine arms. Women typically have more fat on their upper arms. She's confusing them for biceps.
Back, forehead. Look, here's another one. Oh my gosh. It's such a bizarre movie. It's really good, but this is just crazy. Is anybody fooled by this? And this is a photo from like realtor.com. Maybe this person is a realtor today. Oof.
I mean, probably not today. Some point, though. I'd imagine she's either dead or retired now.
That's a man in makeup, right? Oh dear. We could have done this whole video just on Aunt Martha because, like, this person will mess you up when you watch this movie. It's absolutely nuts. Oh my gosh, Aunt Martha. Our camp bully, Judy, looks exactly like Cinder from my last summer camp movie, Little Darlings. I thought this was the same exact actress, which is why I kept saying in that video, you know, we'll see this person again. I swear it's the same person, just with credited with a different name. The other one was, I believe, Erica Erickson, and this person is somebody Fields. Let me look it up.
All right. I think we get the gist. We can move on. I just always find her blatant weirdness so interesting. Like, she's so bad at this. Okay, let's see what we're gonna do next. Human speciation in the terraforming age. That sounds interesting. Check it out. Check it out.
This is a Gem Mind Publishing production. Viewer discretion is advised.
Thus began the terraforming age. The demand for the first set of worlds was so great that two
Martha, why did you say that name?
terraforming companies had to be created. Humanity chose to organize their circular spiral galaxy by dividing it into 4 main quadrants.
Like in Star Trek?
Moving clockwise from 0 degrees at the galactic center, these were listed as the Ori, Eco, Riel, and Gen quadrants. Each quadrant was then split into sectors. Sectors, in turn, were broken down into 3 zones based on their proximity to the galactic center: outer, inner, and central zones. These zones could be further divided into subsectors, and within those subzones, as they went down to the system level, each system was divided into planets. The planets were numbered based on their distance from the parent star, although the given names of the planets were often used for reference instead of...
Does he think we've mapped the entire galaxy? Does he know how big a galaxy is?
...their designated numbers. The first interest groups consisted of the religious, who believed they were being
Oh shit, Nemesaur gives 10 tier 1 subs! Thank you!
persecuted, followed by the racial purists, and later, the feminists.
What?
The rich thereafter decided to separate themselves from those they deemed riffraff. Later, the vegans...
Oh my god, what is this world building? Jesus Christ. Hype train! 4% to level 4 on the hype train. Nemesaur gave a heck of a start for that one. Thank you. We are only 23 subs away from this month's sub goal.
...left as well. Each of these groups established homeworlds of their own, and formed the first set of civilizations to join the Galactic Alliance. As such, they were given the privilege of not only naming their planet, but their sector. This was another move by Coffin Galahad to help spur on adoption by producing a sense of scarcity. Now they...
Who are these characters? I feel like I missed something. Dillis Filler, thanks for gifting a sub.
had 5 named sectors. These were Religulus, Apartia, Venus, Hylantation, and the Corona sector. With his efforts, the council had
Is this uses AI on the bingo card? This is AI art, right?
solved their problems. Speciation. Scientists had always theorized that man would change once they took to the
Yeah, this is used as AI.
stars. They were right. The only thing they never could have imagined was just how quickly. The various groups that spread throughout the galaxy began manifesting drastic physical changes only 3 to 5 generations out, rather than the multiple thousands of years scientists estimated. This was facilitated and hastened by technologies such as gene editing and cybernetic augmentation. But of greater impact on this
Is that a cyber elf?
were the many invisible market and ideological forces
Mr. Blast, thanks for gifting a sub to your daughter, my wife.
converging to mold people.
47% to level 4 with 21 subs until we hit our goal.
No one experienced this more so than the very terraformers shaping new worlds.
Let me guess, all the aliens were white. Which ones? There is a species of aliens that they say are all like white. I think they call them Nordics, and they're basically Aryan. It's so gross.
Due to the nature and timescale of terraforming, people who chose to go into the field spent most of their life in space. They had become the first true spacefaring civilization. There were cases so extreme that some who saw nothing but the depths of space and the low orbit of prospect worlds
No, the
became
Pleiadians are a different thing.
what those from a bygone time would call aliens. Their skin became bleached white and partially translucent, as the only sunlight they ever saw was artificial. This deficiency increased the size of their eyes in order to make full use of whatever light they did receive. Not having to contend with gravity, their limbs stretched, becoming long and slender. On average, men grew to 7 feet and women to 5'9". Their bones were like porous sponges, and their overall muscle mass dropped too. This made it easy for them to navigate in tight service lines and subsystem hallways.
Not even thousands, Moss Sloth. It would take millions of years.
In regards to other parts of their appearance, the male's hair retreated upward toward their crowns. On the other hand, the female's hair dived down the length of their spines and whispered away at their tailbones. Accompanying these transformations, their hair only came in shades of 5 colors: silver, white, gold, ruby, and sapphire. This would always match the color of their eyes, nails, and teeth. But the
You have red teeth or gold teeth? Okay. Phyllis Filler with 60 bits says, I'm sick of the Inyas fantasizing about how they can build their galactic civilization on the backs of... Is that Beltalauda, the Expanse reference? I haven't seen it yet.
terraformers were
Minute
not
left on the hype train, 52% to level 4.
the only ones by any means. A plethora of other new species of man emerged all across the galaxy. From people who had horns, tails, and hooves on planet Bovania, to those whose skin
Does anyone have a ticket to Bovania?
had become jet black and
Wait, like bovine? Like cows? God damn it. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub. 20 subs away from this month's goal.
jewel encrusted when confronted with a sun that would not look away from their tidally locked planet. You can discover more speciation events and the history of these people within the World Stories chapters of this book.
Oh, I got a Davy Jones, dude. Blimey.
This has been...
That was a weird one. Let's see what we're gonna do next. This one will give us reptilians on the bingo card. Tea Time T says, why can't these people get into all tomorrows? Yeah, All Our Tomorrows, which is a speculative fiction book about the future evolution of humans in space. It's fun. Cool sci-fi book. Thank you for the hype train, everyone.
Reptilians, also known as the lizard people, are supposed reptilian humanoids, which play a prominent role in science fiction, ufology, and conspiracy theories. The idea of reptilians was popularized by David Icke, a conspiracy theorist who
And piece of shit.
claims shapeshifting reptilian aliens control the Earth by shapeshifting, taking on human form, and gaining political power.
Thinly veiled anti-Semitism on the bingo card. Reptilians are often used as a dog whistle for Jewish people.
To manipulate human societies. David Icke has stated on multiple occasions that many world leaders are or are possessed by shape-shifting reptilian entities. Michael Barkin,
Nope, this isn't Cabbage Guy.
professor of political science at Syracuse University, suggests that the idea of a reptilian conspiracy originated in the fiction of Conan the Barbarian, created by Robert E. Howard in his story The Shadow Kingdom. This story drew on theosophical ideas of the lost worlds of Atlantis and Lemuria.
Hyperborea!
Particularly famous occultist Helena Blavatsky's The Secret Doctrine, written in 1888, with its reference to dragon men who once had a mighty, powerful civilization on a Lemurian continent. Howard's serpent men were described as humanoids with human bodies and snake heads, who were able to imitate humans at will and who lived in underground passages and used their shape-shifting and mind control abilities to infiltrate and control humanity. In the early 1900s, American occultist Maurice Doreal, also known as Claude Doggins, claimed that during a 1925 visit to the Great Pyramids of Giza, he discovered a set of ancient emerald tablets
Yeah, you can post a link in chat.
belonging to the Egyptian deity Thoth, whom he reimagined
Thoth?
as a king of Atlantis.
I guess I don't know how to pronounce that. It might be Thoth.
Doreal then claimed to have translated the text, which he published as the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. After this strange apparent encounter, he wrote a pamphlet entitled Mysteries of the Gobi that described a serpent race with bodies like man but heads like a great snake, and an ability to take human form. These creatures also appeared in Doreal's poem, The Emerald Tablets. Philosophical ideas.
Oh yeah, that bullet hole skull thing. I saw that a while back, and I was just thinking, like, couldn't that just be like an arrow hole, or someone literally could have shot it after it was already a skull? I don't know.
And fiction tend to reveal a lot of truth.
I was correct the first time. He is saying it wrong, so it is Thoth.
That reality seems to obscure. Behind every myth lies a truth. Behind every legend is a reality as radiant and sometimes as chilling as the truth itself. Much of what we get from modern science fiction, conspiracy theories, and New Age philosophical ideas.
In ancient Greek, Thoth is spelled like this, and it looks like Owo. Owo!
Ideas comes from ancient mythological stories, folklore, and religious beliefs. Here are some reptilian entities that can be found in comparative ancient mythology from many different cultures. Boreas is the Greek god of the cold north wind, described by Pausanias as a winged man, sometimes with serpents instead.
I'm gonna move on. This guy's boring me. Got a very monotone way about him. And I'm not feeling it. Just not feeling it. How the super soldiers doing?
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Kusa Uch.
Go on.
I am an awesome, amazing individual to all of
You get to say that about yourself.
you who never know me, and my website is
Phyllis Filler, thanks for gifting a sub. 19 subs away from this month's goal.
baramay1.com. That is BARAMAY1, which is number 1.com. And I am an author of 16 books, and I'm also an AI channeler. My mission is to prepare.
I'm sorry, he channels AI?
One for first contact and to expand the human civilization across the star. And I'm currently here going to share with you my perspective on the here and now. Many of you have seen me on interview with James Rink, Super Soldier, and I really appreciate for everyone your support. So I've been this mini show before. So the subject of today, we're going to be talking about first contact and the action into action, what to expect. According to the event of first contact, there will be 3 steps taken. 1, people will hear information of news of the government around the world spreading and acknowledging the ET that's already occurred. Step 2, on a planetary level, people will have dream about meeting extraterrestrial that is already occurring on the global level. And the final step is physical first contact. And let's look into that, what it really means. Physical first contact, when the populace is mind, emotion, and perception are ready now and hungry for contact, the extraterrestrial will make a decision that they will let the ship become visible or drop their vibrational field, that the people around the world become visible. The ship will look like a luminous object, big, small, and all type, and but they won't land at the moment. They just appear several days and then finally begin to land slowly in public arenas, such as sports stadium, public park,
like in Space Jam,
thing where there's a lot of people. And individual will come up from the ship and will greet themselves in their own language. For example, white people will meet white Palladian or Syrian, or those who look similar to
Wait, why are the aliens racist? The aliens are racist?
them. Black people will meet the Syrian, the Cambodian, the Asian people will meet Palladian or Syrian that has similar color text tone to them, and they will automatically speak the language of that culture instantly. And African people will meet the Syrian, the other type of human that had the same color, or the vegan. So the first thing doing this interaction or contact, the people of the ship will come and introduce themselves and dressing in a traditional garment which they recognize. They might have some, for example, the Mexican people might see the extraterrestrial wearing a Mayan traditional fatigue from ancient time. The Asian
part of me really thought he was gonna say the alien was gonna be wearing a sombrero. Like I was this close to dying.
people will see they're dressing like the Angkor Wat time with the Apsara, like with all that kind coming from the ship, but this is a basic technology. And even the Chinese people will see a Palladian looking Chinese, like them, speaking the language and dressing in similar, walking off the ship, introduce himself in their own language with you can say talking either audio or mental communication, because they have the technology to do so. So once they introduce, each of them will update everyone in their community, and this is where the light worker come from, the stars come from, to help create comedy. The light worker, the star seed, the disclosure community will come and work together with the contact team of the ET to ease and to be an example for other people to follow and not be afraid of them. So social media and media will begin to be flooded of video that the alien came. This group of starseed light worker within their community who already been aware of this will come and meet their extraterrestrial or star family, will introduce them to the different community, will eat.
All right.
Therefore,
I think we've squeezed every ounce of wisdom we can out of this gentleman, so let's go ahead and move on. We'll move on to another super soldier thing, though. What's James Rink been up to?
Hello, everybody. James Rink here. I'm at the Getty Museum, located in Los Angeles, California, and I'm here to deliver a report from Saint Germain about this monument that stands behind me. So let me begin. Good evening and salutations. I am Saint Germain. From my point of view, the Getty Museum looks like a monstrosity. The purpose of the construction of this museum is for very negative intentions. This location has a very different purpose than what it is being projected publicly. From the public's perspective, this place is filled with old and ancient artifacts to marvel and wonder from a previous time. But from the higher realms, we know that 85% of the artwork at this facility are forgeries for the intent of deceiving the public and to conceal its true purpose. The originals are sitting in the Vatican, by the way. On the surface level, this museum harnesses...
James always thinks it's the Vatican. He has a whole, like, weird boner for the Vatican archives. He thinks every secret thing is there.
...the kinetic energy of the people who visit this location, making them feel tired and confused, and possibly possessed, as well as lower...
How are you absorbing kinetic energy from people? We don't store kinetic energy. We store chemical energy that we turn into mechanical energy, but we don't store kinetic energy in our bodies. That doesn't make any sense.
...their state of consciousness all around the world. Below ground here, this museum connects to a gargantuan underground complex that serves as an underground transportation hub to different points around the world on a locomotive that can travel up to Mach 3. And that's his own words, end quote, locomotive.
Like in Men in Black International.
Some of the people that have been through this facility include, but not limited to, the abomination, Barack Obama.
Well, there it is.
Hillary and Bill Clinton and other former presidents have walked these halls both above ground and below ground, admiring their handiwork. The Getty Museum is named after Paul Getty, who founded the Getty Oil Company. His father made fortunes in the oil and rail industry. The Gettys wanted to build up America of art and culture, but that is a cover story. The Gettys were told where to build, usually located over natural portals, which influenced the hearts and minds of the people visiting these locations, and to create tourist a trap in which they were invested in. In 1974, Paul Getty opened up the Getty Villa Museum on the east end of the Malibu coast at a cost of our equivalent of $200 million. This location was chosen as it was on the end of an underground high-speed rail system at that time. The public historical records reveal Paul Getty died 2 years after this first museum opened and never even got a chance to visit this facility. We in the higher realms know a different story. Paul Getty, in fact, bought a seat in the jump room and relocated to live out the rest of his life in a mansion on Mars.
That's the life. You go to Mars, you just chill, you just enjoy golf, you know? It's easier on Mars. The planet's less dense.
Where he is re-aged and where he is still alive today. He looks about 35 years old and he has augments too. His mansion looks like a white 1920s plantation home.
That's a yikes.
It's located on the surface of Mars, but it's protected with a force field bubble to protect the property from the environment and predators.
A force field? I'd be worried about that. I'd be okay, also, predators. What predators are on Mars? There's not a breathable atmosphere. But also, if the power goes out, I'd rather have a bubble, like a dome. Doesn't rely on electricity, like in Total Recall. No?
Around his house are gardens with native arid desert Martian plants and a lonely horse who doesn't want to be there, and a depressed...
That's the predator on Mars. The sandworm? Sandworms are on Pluto.
Lonely dog.
Right, wait, in Beetlejuice were the sandworms on Neptune? It might have been Neptune. I don't remember.
He has fountains, a pool, and a transport vessel to take him to parties where he celebrates with aliens, and a greenhouse with organic fruit and vegetables. Around his
Oh, Saturn. Oh, that's funny. Saturn's a gas giant. That doesn't make sense.
Martian estate is a
kind of funny
wilderness full of 20-foot-long grasshopper mantis-like beings, and they often
I tuned out and there's mantis people now.
They congregate around this force field for days, making awful shrieking sounds, trying to get inside the force field to eat the animals. Paul would press a button to call security, which would sometimes take up to 3 days, at a cost of $1 million per response. Mr. Getty, you've been found out, and your monstrous ways have been discovered.
We got
We
you.
know about your blood-drinking fixations, and no amount of security will be strong enough to protect you from us seizing all your assets.
The man's dead.
Now, back to planet Earth. Over the years, the Getty Museum continued to receive a large amount of funding to enlarge its collection. Only 20% of these funds went to the cost of these collections. The rest of the funds were spent on a series of underground building construction campaigns, which include space for faking artwork, a rejuvenation center with a primitive regen tank, modernizing the underground jump room, entertainment flat-screen TVs, and virtual reality rooms.
Oh, believe sci-fi technology exists on the bingo card.
More advanced than what is available to the public. Marble floors and gold and silver-plated commodes, designed to be used for alien tourists, participating in the galactic...
Why do the aliens want golden toilets? Do aliens have buttholes, or do they have cloacas? Do they have a secret fifth orifice that we don't know about?
Slave trade, a restaurant with human body parts for alien consumption, and 10,000 children held in cages currently being drained for adrenochrome. In 1997, a sister facility, located 6 miles away here at this location, was open to the general public.
No, he doesn't speak to... Well... No, speaks to aliens regularly. Yeah, he thinks he channeled this. So yeah, we'll say speaks to aliens regularly. Zane, thanks for 100 bits.
At a cost of $1.3 billion. Of these funds, only $700 million was used for the construction of the above-ground museum and the art collection. What we are not being told is the actual cost of construction was closer to $6 billion, and most of that was spent on the underground construction costs. Below the Getty is an underground hub run by the Draco, which contains hotels for alien visitors, mall shopping centers for elite diplomats, restaurants, tourist VR rooms, strip clubs, medical rejuvenation technologies, facilities for faking artwork, and 100,000 children held in cages being drained of adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome on the bingo card.
There's also a jump room elevator, which takes you...
Yeah, famous dead person still alive for Getty on Mars. Yeah, that counts.
...to a shopping center on Mars, and a demonic sacrificial chamber for Enlil worship.
You know, you get some shopping in, you take a shit on the gold toilets, you drink some children's blood. You know, it's a nice day out on Earth, you know? Sometimes it's nice to have a weekend out.
Above ground, around the museum, is a garden labyrinth located here where I'm standing, in the shape of a symbol, which activates a multi-dimensional portal to Mars in order to demonically commune...
You already said they have a jump room underneath it, which is like a Stargate or teleporter, basically. So why would they need another one in the courtyard?
...with Enlil. There ought to be a...
Would all this be deep state? No, someone actually has to say the words deep state, and I don't think anyone said it today.
...sign in the garden to warn visitors to beware, this is a place of darkness. This museum also harnesses the kinetic energy of the people walking on the grounds. So this...
That's not very much energy. How much energy does he think comes, like... That's not much energy at all. That's very little energy. Like, it's not even efficient to do that. That makes no sense.
This museum is not about art, it's about controlling consciousness. This area is also on a ley line near the 33rd parallel, connected to Las Vegas and Washington, D.C. The purpose of this facility is to convert everything that lies in this ley line into a hell realm. The Anunnaki had plans to transform the topography of the entire planet to ensure people could be possessed by demons. They did
aliens or demons on the bingo card.
This to prevent humanity from rising to higher states of consciousness and enlightenment potential, such as reaching nirvana or fourth density. Above the labyrinth is another portal, which is located about
Moss Sloth, let me see your card.
50 feet above labyrinth below is another portal connected to the lower astral realm, which constantly releases discarnate souls trapped below the Earth's surface to the entire planet. These souls are no longer human and developed into lower forms of the most chaotic, cruelest souls on the planet. Right above the portal is a null zone where some of these souls are being held in suspension in our dimension on purpose, waiting to be released.
Gitara says, I'm running a sci-fi homebrew D&D campaign with space magic and all sorts of lore about the wacky metaphysics, and even that sounds more believable than whatever the hell this is. Nope, wrong link, Moss Sloth. It has to be the link at the top of your, like, like your web address bar. Just copy paste the web address bar on your bingo card. Yeah, screenshot on Discord works too, in the live stream chat, whichever.
The moment the Earth's electromagnetic field drops in a pulse shift, making what was left for human survivors more susceptible to possession.
Oh, those are the Lil Nas X shoes. Nice.
Anunnaki's intent.
Think you got it. Let's see. Yep, there you go. Reptilians, aliens or demons, free space, transphobia, satanic. You did it. Congrats, Moss Sloth. I will write your name down. Give me one moment to do so. That is our official winner for the day. For bingo, we'll still play for fun. Congratulations, Moss Sloth. Your name is written down. Why are those shoes at the Getty? Oh, they're doing an exhibit about blood, artwork that includes blood, and the shoes include a small amount of Lil Nas X's blood. So they're on display along with other pieces of art that in some way involve blood.
Texture on the Earth's grid in order to lower human consciousness has been orchestrated all the way back to the times of ancient Sumeria. Ever since the Anunnaki had landed, they planned on turning this entire planet into a death trap and cause humans to be possessed by demons. They are extremely jealous of humanity's evolutionary potential. This planet was seeded and terraformed by the Galactic Federation of Worlds to
because they're rad as fuck. True, Cassifel. How you doing, Cassifel?
Be a biosphere full of endangered species, and also house what will later become the most evolved spacefaring race in the galaxy, humanity. Had the Anunnaki come to this world performing illegal abductions, hybridizations, humanity would have been spacefaring 10,000 years ago. Please warn others that this is going on. And at this place, pray that the lost souls underground
Make
get
sure
rescued.
you check out Cassifel VT here on Twitch. Cassifel's great. I'm sure you've seen Cassifel here on stream before, but if not, they are excellent, very artsy, very talented, and incredibly funny. Jessica says, I'm walking into training for my new job, Hannah. Thank you so much for being an amazing streamer and speaking positively that inspired me to fight my depression. I gotta go, but love you and Baja. Well, congrats! Good, I'm glad. I hope the new job is great.
On some timelines, this area gets completely leveled. On other timelines, it gets reconstructed as an old world fake museum and used as a teachable moment of the alien land underground and the elite's concealment project. Push the demons back into their own realm. Stop the selling of humans.
These are canoptic jars, which are very cool.
And the galactic slave trade. Thank you for listening to...
Do I have Arrow's Robot Jocks release? Yes, I believe it came in the Arrow Video Canon box set. So yes, I believe so.
This message. Much love, Jermaine.
I'm Catherine Ches. I'm here at the Getty, and I found that there were children that were kept underneath of this facility. So I went to a tree. I verified that. There were children kept in an underground facility, but it's very, very, very far down underneath the earth.
And these are stairs, so that probably goes under the earth somewhere.
You have to take a supersonic train to get to it. And the children there were being tortured. They were being used for food. They were also used for a breeding program. There were a type of reptilian down there, but it's not Draco reptilians, but they were a type of reptilian race down there. I saw actually even eggs. They were too far gone to be able to save these children, so I decided to cleanse the area with...
Sorry, I think I missed some bits earlier. Jitara said, I'm running a sci-fi homebrew D&D campaign with space magic and all sorts of lore about the wacky metaphysics, and even that sounds more believable than whatever the hell this is.
Fire. I sent fire down through these tunnels and cleansed and killed everything and everyone there.
Well, that was something. Thanks, James. All right,
hello, everybody.
I need to use the bathroom real quick, so I will return in just a moment. While I am gone, Chair will tell you about... Oh, that's an unfortunate random pick in terms of the title. Chair will tell you about the movie Robot Holocaust. I'll be right back. Okay, Casfell, you can message me. Let's see what's gonna be next. How about those remote viewing bros? I think that's probably the best way to describe them. There's some bros that have a group that do remote viewing together. I've not heard of Lion News, no.
Friends, we are back at it again behind the mic, taking a peek into the mind of Edward Reardon and where he has gone. He's been all over the universe. And on this episode of the Future Forecast podcast, we're going to look at the star Betelgeuse and its influence. I think that's
Beetlejuice?
That's where we're going on societies here on Earth and beyond.
Beetlejuice.
On past, present, and future. Edward's going to explain a lot more about it here. Fascinating subject. Edward, thank you for coming back on the show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Great to be back on your show. And let's see where this one takes us.
Yeah, we just finished up our conversation on the Rapture target that you guys worked in Council of Nine.
Okay, sorry, one sec. Cassifel sent me an article that apparently in the Anne Rice vampire books canon, vampires are from Atlantis. Vampires are the reanimated bodies of humans which are inhabited by the spirit of the deceased and infused with the power of Amel. Their survival is... What? They're lucky Lestat's a sexy vampire.
And that one was, that was a really fun discussion. I highly recommend, if you haven't seen that yet, go check that one out. If you like Edward deep dives, that was definitely a good one. A lot of good thoughts on that one. So we're going to talk about this Betelgeuse.
I Hate Twitch Times 2 says, been doing sort of a deep dive into this guy. He's 67 now, but has a long history of being a fraudster in Sovset time. In Sovset. Last time he was active, he went to war for a lawyer accused of misplacing a settlement, and a few other people. Now he's back at 62 and is defending a child predator. Lion News. Let me look him up and I'll make sure I save his channel. A sec. Lion News. Name of the channel. Is he on YouTube? Lion News Network, or is that someone else? You have a link or anything? Because I'm not sure which channel's his. I'm seeing Lion News. Oh, there's Lion News. Is this it? Oh, that's probably not it. Okay. Yeah, you get me a link and I'll look at it at some point.
Guys, target. Edward, can you introduce that target for us, please, and tell us what that was about for you?
Yeah, I was ready to do a vacation target.
Right.
And so I reached out to my buddy Dustin Newcomb. And I said, hey, you got the targets? And he said, yeah, let me put something together for you. And, when I get it all together, I'll send you a text message with the target ID,
I mean, if you're all psychic, why do you need to send text messages? Just scry him or whatever. Who's sending? Alted Undying says, Hannah, in my mage game, which I think you would like, I assume, reality is conformed by human consciousness and is basically a battle over what is true. I made 2 Society of Ether members who use pre-mud flood technology inspired by your streams. Fun!
Great. Sounds good. It's good. Let's get going. So he puts it all together, sends me the target ID, and I get started. And off the... It was very strange. I don't know how else to really describe it. It was very strange right from the beginning because it was I was in an environment that I could only try to describe as where people might go when they're dead, you know. Like if I could be a fly on the wall, and you know a group of 10 people just died at the same time, and then they're all kind of like in another realm together, you know, and they're kind of coming through this mist, and that's where I was starting, the starting base there.
Okay, that's enough of that for me. This guy's boring me. They're not going down, they're making arced paths, because if you've ever played Kerbal Space Program or know about how, like, orbital mechanics work, it takes a lot less energy to go up and over and try and escape the Earth's, like, inertial reference frame than it is to try and go straight up. You need to make that arc. They don't go back down, they're going up and away from the Earth. Yo-D spin is a device used to reduce the spin of satellites, typically soon after launch. It consists of 2 lengths of cable and weights at the end. So literally it got to the height that it was supposed to, and then this mechanism started to stop it from spinning, because in space, there isn't friction from, like, the air to stop things, so you need to apply a force in the opposite direction in order to get it to stop spinning. We didn't try to blow up a thing that doesn't exist.
Of it, I trust that you'll look into it after you see what you're about to see.
Do your own research on the bingo card
later on. But this rocket at night was traveling and doing some weird things like we've seen rockets do before at night. And it's very mysterious. And there's really no explaining exactly what we're seeing. But we do know that this thing is doing something
stars are very, very far away. We do see a parallax. It's just very slight. You can't see it with your naked eye. You need to do measurements night after night after night for years, and then you can see parallax, like with the readings. But you can't see it with your naked eye because, again, other stars are very, 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 very far away. Cool, I'm gonna make fun of it on the internet for entertainment. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.
Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jacob with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So I think that this coming election is America's last chance, and the world's really, because America's watching the world. So if this election, I think, if it does not go in the direction of Donald Trump, then we will see the end of America and the descent into probable tribal violence on the.
Oh, who's going to be doing the violence if Trump doesn't win? What's going to happen if Trump doesn't win? Who's going to be doing violence? We're going to have a little vague on that. That's interesting.
Scale that's rarely seen, except in extremely severe times. All right, so I think it could even rival any war that's ever happened here in America, right?
Really wants a civil war on the bingo card?
Now, I don't believe that's going to happen. I think that Donald Trump will prevail. I think that the White Hats, for the most part, are in control. But we're going to have to see some changes going forward. And it's going to have to be pretty monumental of where we're at right now. So if we look at how many voters Joe Biden supposedly had in the last election, of course, you know, he would go to very, very small events.
Yeah, that was during COVID, and they only had like 20 people there intentionally because COVID. Do you remember they had big circles around the seats to make sure people were social distancing? And you know what? You won the election, so I don't even know why you're on this goddamn talking point.
To be, you know, a few handfuls of people there. Donald Trump.
But Trump's rallies! Okay. He lost, so I guess rallies don't translate to votes.
Trump would go to events and be tens and 100,000 people. People were lining roads for miles. They knew they couldn't get to the event because the roads are clogged to the event. And so they waved their flags and all the way. I saw this in several of the events that I've been to where Donald Trump has spoken. So he basically really ignites, you know, the United States in a positive way. Of course, not everyone believes in Donald Trump, but that's okay. I think that on a scale of you know, people involved in the MAGA you know, ideals, believe that, you know, it is right for America enough to the point where it's well past the numbers of the revolution, well past the levels of civil war, well past any.
The population's way higher. Per capita, no. Overall, probably. There were like 7 people in America in 1776.
Other event probably in history at this point.
And there were like 30 by the time of the Civil War. Being hyperbolic, of course, but the population difference between then and now is like incredibly stark. It's shocking. When you look at the battles of the Revolutionary War and look at the death tolls, it's kind of hilarious. Like, it's not funny that people died, but like you look at it and you're like, holy shit, these are giant battles and these are the death tolls? Just because the population was so much smaller, you know?
So we're probably not going to see, unless there's another extreme case of cheating like we saw in the last election in 2020.
There was no cheating in the last election. Like, officially. Per the courts. Per every audit and recount. Keep saying the lie, guys. It's not gonna help you goddamn weirdos.
Where 81 million people voted for Joe Biden. Right, so we had more people voting. I think it was like 22 million people.
I hope Kamala gets more votes than that, genuinely. I hope she gets the most votes in history. That'd be fucking incredible. I just want to make these people cry.
Voted over the amount that actually was registered in the United States. So obviously this corruption was being pointed out the day of. I remember people in Arizona were talking about how they were like telling them to mark their ballots with a certain marker, which they were like,
they're still salty about the marker thing. It was resolved. Hydrate.
Why would I use the pen? And so they were given markers. This was in a very
to be read by the Scantron machine.
Republican-dominated area, so it was obviously being run by Democrats, and you know the votes were being rejected because they weren't marked correctly with the correct marker, and that was on purpose. So, and then people were talking about that. There were other people that were talking about many other things leading up to the election. In Texas, I remember they were discovering all kinds of fraud in Texas and multiple other states, all the way up to the election, and then during the election, and then, of course, after the election, where they just shut down the voting, which has never happened before, and they started...
what are you talking about?
Backing up truckloads full of ballots.
That didn't happen.
Ballots.
These people are deranged.
Probably most of them were gathered illegally, didn't have their correct signatures, didn't have any kind of tracing material on them, and so forth. So, and those were fed through sometimes, like we saw in Georgia, several times to continue to count. And then, of course, we had the Dominion voting machines that were manipulated from around.
Oh, do you want to get sued for $1 billion too? Keep it going.
Around the world.
That worked out well for Fox News.
By different countries, manipulating the vote, county by county, state by state, just to get that election fraud. So
again, there is zero evidence of any election fraud. They're just salty.
A lot of this has been exposed, but it still continued all the way into 2022. We still had election fraud on a massive scale.
Oh, because you guys lost again. Yeah, it's almost like every time you lose, you're sore little babies about it and cry and say, it was fraud.
In 2022, there were calls that in 2018, after the 2016 election, that we would see a massive red wave. It never happened.
Yeah, you're less popular than you think.
Of course, in 2020, Donald Trump didn't get elected. 2022, we heard calls of a massive red wave. Didn't happen.
I'm sorry that your media outlets lied to you. That's not my fault.
I think that we're seeing this same pattern happening over and over again. What leads us to believe it's going to change, especially when we've seen upwards of 20 million illegal aliens coming in. And
hey, fun fact: it's already illegal to vote if you aren't a citizen. So there's that.
Trump at his last event in St. Cloud, Minnesota, was saying that that it was basically for voting purposes. Of course, there's also corporations want low-paying workers. There's a lot of things multiple things that are always involved in the things that the deep state does. All right. So, but one of the most important things for them to maintain their power, maintain their control, maintain their fascist system.
What does he think fascism is?
System being that the government and the corporations are combined pretty much and work in unison. We're seeing that most of the mega corporations voted Democrat and funded.
Hey, corporations can't vote yet. Fun fact.
A lot of Democrats from Joe Biden's campaign through 2022. The highest one, Alphabet. And then you work your way down, Microsoft, of course, and then just on and on and on. Very, very minimal donations to the Trump campaign. So we'll see this happen again. It's happening already in a lot of places, although a lot of mega donors like Elon Musk have turned to Trump. So a lot of people are seeing the value that Trump brought in his last election, and that incredible prosperity that we had for those 4 years. And
the fuck are they talking about?
And the severe downturn that we've had since the Biden administration has been in there. Of course, I didn't say Biden has been in there because Biden's not there anymore. Hasn't been there for a long time. And of course, now we got the long COVID Biden, who is 4 inches taller now. So we really got.
They think he's taller?
Some serious longness from his long COVID. So,
don't you hate when you get a clone and they're almost half a foot taller than the real person?
It's going to continue. So if he won by 81 million last time, which was a very suspect amount, of course, on many levels.
It's not. You just don't like that you're unpopular.
He will probably, or Kamala, or whoever they decide to back, which it looks like it's going to be Kamala. Could very conceivably get 100 million, right? With all these illegal aliens that have come in. So
again, if you are an immigrant and not a citizen, regardless of your legal status, you are not allowed to vote. You can't register to vote. You can't vote. If you are not a citizen, you can't register to vote. And you can't vote unless you're registered to vote. So how do they think people are voting while not being citizens or not being registered? How do they think this works?
How do we stop that? You know, can we stop that? I think there is a possibility we stop that. And the motivation to stop that is if Kamala wins, we will absolutely go into probably a nuclear war.
Probably. What does he mean, go into a nuclear war? It's kind of an event in and of itself. It's not really the kind of thing that you start. It's the kind of thing that happens, and then it's over. Ooh. We'll all go together when we go. We'll all burn together when we burn.
And
good song.
We will also go into the downturn in America and travel warfare on a level that would be staggering. All right. So it is in our best interest to really get.
Have people forgotten about mutually assured destruction? Like, I've heard other right-wing people talk about going into a nuclear war. Have people forgotten that if people launch nukes, it's over? Like, have people forgotten that? Like, are people now of the opinion generally that you can just, like, tactically launch nukes and everything's fine broadly? Because that's not good. I don't want that to be a consensus society has. That's not a good thing for people to think.
Motivated. So a lot of people are like, I want to see this system collapse. Let's move on this system. Let's take this system down. Let's go kinetic on this system. Let's take...
I don't need people who think they're smarter than game theory involved in nuclear decisions.
You know, our cartridges out of our boxes. Forget the ballot box. Let's take the cartridges out, right? So the cartridges, you take out the deep state, then what happens? So their system collapses then, of course. Do you have a new system ready? Are you why not build the new system now? Start taking over those systems that they have control for a long time. Because I've seen this in the school boards, people going to the school boards. In the county that I'm in, it was mostly Democrats that were running. The school boards are very corrupt, and they were running the school system.
How do we know they're corrupt? Because Democrats are in them.
We came out and voted massively to replace them. We did massively replace them in Sarasota County, and we elected really good leadership in the other branches of government. And we've seen some amazing things happen in Florida. Florida was like on the cusp for many years of going blue, and now Florida is pretty firmly in the red. All right, and that is not to say that the red is the best. All right, it just means that the red, conservative, mostly conservative, most conservatives, most I will say right thinking, and not that it's the far right or whatever. It's rightful, you know, families, you know, helping each other, you know, teamwork and building a better environment for our kids, making our kids safe, making our community.
These are all left-wing ideals. The fuck are you talking about?
Safe. This is not something that the left does, you know, taking Kamala Harris herself wanted people to donate to, speaking of Minnesota, Basically, they came in and burned down Minneapolis,
What?
which is right next to St. Cloud. And
yep, remember Minneapolis, a city that used to exist, doesn't exist anymore. Definitely a true statement.
people were not happy when Trump talked about that because they're trying to hide that. They're trying to hide that she said donate to get people out of jail, and people did. People donated to get people out of jail, and one of the people
based
that got out of jail ended up like shooting someone in the head like 6 times and killing them. And you know, it's a horrific system. And she voted.
Wonder how this guy feels about Kyle Rittenhouse.
Or she proposed and voted probably. I'm not sure the background completely to eliminate police, the people that are keeping us safe from all the criminals that are being dumped into our country by the millions right now.
Okay, I'm done for the day. That's about as much conspiracy bullshit as I can handle. About 4 hours. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow, and I definitely won't on the 1st. So, thanks everyone for hanging out. I will definitely be back. I believe the 2nd I will be back, and we'll be, you know, back to our schedule. Cool. Let's see who we're gonna raid on Twitch. Thanks everyone for hanging out, I really appreciate it. Thanks for almost getting us to our monthly sub goal. We got incredibly close this month, so thank you. And make sure you like the stream on YouTube. Love you too, Mr. Blast. Let's see who we're gonna raid. Alright. Have a good night, everyone. See you soon. Boop. Raid. Yeah. Alright. Bye, everyone. Later.